Hello everybody and welcome to Salvage Union at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your storyteller for tonight, as we join Leyline Press for their Kickstarter for this wonderful game. This was a big highlight for me and I'm just going to be checking because we have a tradition. Yep, you guys can hear me. That's really good. This was OBS, man. Got to be careful with OBS. This was a golden find for Dragon Meet. So, as some of you will know, we were at Dragon Meet 2021 with Podcast Zone UK, and we got to meet a whole load of new game developers, and amongst them was Leyline Press. And I will confess, I'd never heard of them before now, but I'm really glad that we've met them. So Salvage Union is a mech game. Yes, we played Lancer before, but this is mech and post-apoc, two of my favourite genres, smashed together in a game that's got a fantastic bit of flow. Now, as a storyteller, I'll say a bit to start with before we get to the players, and that is that making this mission was super easy. Now, we were given the beta quick start guide in Dragon Meet. You can get this yourself by going to the Kickstarter. Now, we have up in the gods Helen, who is running our chat today. So say hi to her. That's Anti-Jinxed. And she will give the link to the Kickstarter periodically throughout the stream, where you can go back this wonderful project. It's already backed, fully backed. So they're on stretch goals now. So keep those stretch goals coming. And you'll be able to get it. But most importantly, you will be able to get the PDF version of this as well. And we have got some graphics from the PDF with the kind permission of Leyline Press that will be showing you on the stream today. So just a quick shout out to our artists to start off with. All of the frames that you see here are from our lovely artist Felicia, who does a lot of the art for the stream. And the rest of the art that you'll see, so all the tables, all the character art, all of the mech art, are the property of Leyline Press. And you will find that Leyline Press are in the chat. Hello, Pani. So I think I'm right in saying that behind the name Leyline Press is Pani, who's actually the writer of this game, who was a little bit nervous that he was going to watch it being played. But trust me, mate, you don't need to be nervous. This is fantastic, as we saw yesterday on The Drunken Storyteller. Right, I think that's all the blurb. As I say, fantastic game, very easy to put together, fantastic concept for some of the mechs as well, which you will see. But I'm going to stop blathering on now, and we're going to introduce you to our players. And here we are, and I've just realised I've got two of you mixed up already. I just need to shift you all around. There we go, we've managed to get our traditions up and running right from the start. So Hermit's in the right place, Dave's in the right place, Tom and Unca need to move. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's why we use Zoom. You can pull people about. So a little bit of introduction. And rather than putting people on the spot and getting them to introduce themselves, I will go and do that. Hey, Balbrith, thank you very much for the raid, my friend. And great to see you back on Twitch as well. We're doing well, and this is a brand new system that we're doing called Salvage Union. So thanks for dropping in. So let's introduce our players. First of all, to my immediate right, here we go. To my immediate right is a fellow storyteller who's delighted me with games for many years, and he's known on the Discord as Mage Dave because, and I need to get this right, Mage the Awakening, because I keep getting
Ascension.
Ascension.
No, you still get it wrong.
I still get it wrong. So Dave has been running Mage the Ascension for
Played it for
many
4
years.
years, Simon.
I've been playing it for 4 years and I still get it wrong. And has been able to bring that world to life for us. And on top of that, you've done a whole host of other things. You've done recently some L5R for us. You've done a whole load of other systems. And also you're currently working on CNCU. Did I get it right? Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna come up with a better name for it though at some point.
I love the fact that it's going to be Chaotic Neutral Cinematic Universe. So I'm in. I want my origin story, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
everyone's welcome on that one. So I'm happy to have 100 players. We'll just get around to it eventually.
Yeah, and this is very typical of Dave. You should see the amount of stuff he's put into a single mage game. Seriously, a whole forum populated. I'm not lying. For this. So as we are going to be pointing out here, viewers and members of our community get to play on the stream. This isn't just 4 or 5 people who are always the stars of the show. This is what we do. Someone wants to run a game, as long as it's one of our storytellers that's running it, people can come in and start playing on our stream as well. So that's going to be for 2022. So there's that, and there's a bunch of other projects that you're going to be doing, which we can't go through now, but are on the Discord. So go and check out the list in our GM room for the types of things that we're writing at the moment. Next to the left of, again, I'm getting this wrong way around, to the right of him is one of the Ravens of the Tower, Hermit. And the reason why I say that is that Scornfuse and Hermit have been 2 of our longest running and most consistent viewers, and it's fantastic to have you playing this. And I think this is you've been on the stream a few times now, haven't you?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
I think was the first one during Halloween.
I think it was probably during Halloween, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So fantastic to see you on the screen now as well. And we were also treated to Scorm during Halloween as well, which again did not disappoint. I know when we're putting you two in a game, something's going to happen. Although I was in danger going, hang on, I put my viewers on the screen. So what happens to my viewer count? Never mind. Beneath Dave, we have a new member of our community, and so I think you've done some viewing already, but came in through Dave and the Majorverse. So welcome to Tom. And,
thank you very much.
Your first time on our stream. And then another consistent viewer is Unka, who I need to just sort things out because your head is just about in view, my friend. So we'll do what we can to bring that up. And so yes, these are going to be our 4 pilots for this game. The game is very simple. You are all pilots. You have mechs. There is only 1 dice roll in the entire game, and that's an unmodified D20. So anybody who's watching this who's not done it before, just one of these, an unmodified D20, does all the rolls. Now, thankfully, we've got the magic of Nightbot, which means that we can do all our rolls in the open, as suggested in the book, by typing in !D20. It also means that I can get some of you, the viewers, to roll the D20s for me to see what happens to our players. So I may be calling on some people to do it at some point, or just get it so it's first come, first serve. Whoever manages to roll the dice first, that's the one I will go for. So we're going to go around the table and we're going to ask you which character you chose. And what I will point out is that I've said to the players is that they can reskin the characters however they like. But for those of you who have read the Beta Quick Start, you will see there's a little bit of a clue in the bottom left of every screen as to what they're going to play, because that's the official art that came with the character. So first of all, Dave, who are you going to be playing? You're muted, Dave.
Sorry about that. I chose the Scouts, and apparently their call sign is Catfish. And they're going to be piloting the Gopher, which, according to the brief, is a sort of workhorse mech that can kind of do anything, but this one's been sort of spec'd out for recon and long-distance shooty.
Absolutely. So let's go and learn a little bit more about this. You should be able to still hear me. So the Gopher, if we bring it up, I'm going to read out the official line from the book. The TC40 Gopher, designed by Opus Institute, is a light cargo mech originally designed to quickly shuttle equipment on and off the battlefield. It's become something of a workhorse for the salvage unions, who of course jury-rig it with all manner of additional scanning modules, laser weaponry, and evasion protocols. So the good thing about this is you've got light, medium, and heavy mechs. Each one's good at a different thing. It's not like some mech games, I'm not trying to be bitter here, where the small mechs basically get squished. Mech Warrior. And it's just the bigger is better. Here in Salvage Union, bigger isn't necessarily better. You can have small nippy mechs who are capable of going in, scouting, and there are certain things in this mission where the lighter mechs will get scot-free, whereas the heavier mechs may struggle a bit more. and vice versa, depending on how it goes. Oh, and thank you, Panny. So we've got the artist there in the chat as well. Hermit, you're playing my favourite. Who are you playing?
I'm playing the Hauler.
Oh, yes.
Call sign Commodore.
Mm-hmm.
They're essentially the truck driver among mechs. They have they drive a heavy chassis mech that's very built for cargo carrying.
Yeah.
It's called the Atlas.
Oh, yes. Let's go and have a look at it. So, the Atlas. This is a fantastic rig, and we saw exactly how powerful it was last night on the Drunken Storyteller. The two lines that I put on there is you can't win big without a rig. And also, this is a walking piggy bank, and it really is. In Salvage Union, there is no cash, there's just salvage. So everything is done on the barter system. The more salvage you have, the richer you are, the better that you've done. So if you want to move any of your loot, you're going to need this. And again, from the book, the MK Atlas was developed by Avantis Heavy Industries as a mobile, well-armoured supply base. Following the Colonial War of Independence, Avantis focused its production on colossal mech production, making the Atlas the smallest of their line. This led to the Atlantis being colloquially called the Avantis Scout. And what I love about that blurb text is that somewhere in this world there are these gigantic, almost Mortal Engine style walking bases that can come along, and that's fuel for a story in future. So loving that at the moment. And I'm sure Leyline Press will be able to tell you who the artist was for this as well. Or they may all be from the same guy. Tom, who are you playing?
I am playing the engineer Twitch, who is the proud pilot of the Magpie medium mech. Mainly set up for repairs, but a couple of extra toys, just in case.
Oh, yes. So, again, an engineer is something that everybody needs, and the Magpie is the perfect mech for it. Again, from the book, the Type 43 Magpie was developed by Stephanus Corporation as a worker mech. Its universal mounting points allowed for rapid transition between the various complex servo arms needed during the development and rollout of the Prion chassis, which I'm not entirely sure what the Prion chassis is. I'm assuming that's coming up in the main book. So if it wasn't for the hauler, this would be my mech. The fact that it's modular, you can whack a load of things on it. Actually has a small cargo size as well, so if you didn't have the hauler, the Magpie would be the one that you wanted to go for. And then finally we have Unka. And what will you be playing, sir?
I am going to be the soldier today, and I will be driving the Brawler, which I'm going to rename and nickname it as the Wrecker.
The Wrecker?
Something comes in and tries to hurt us, I'm going to wreck it.
Yep, and again, we saw last night exactly how much this thing can wreck when you start to get this going. There's a particular ability that I fear was used to good effect last night. Let's go have a look at it. So the Brawler is the only mech that has got a relatively humanoid form. It's got 2 arms, it has a gun that it can pick up, put down, holster, and so on. And it does allow, to a certain extent, for a pilot that knows martial arts to do martial arts in a mech, which was a lovely blurb that I was reading up on about for this. The blurb in the book is that the Type 43 Magpie was developed by Stefan... Oh, no, that's the Magpie again. Turn to the wrong page. The GCC-21 Brawler is an advanced mech chassis commissioned by the TDA Council to counter the Biotitans, and we'll get to Biotitans, they're very cool, that began to emerge in the years after Impact Day. With a direct neurodrive uplink that connects the pilot's nervous system to the mech, it requires advanced pilot training, hence why Brawler pilots often have combat backgrounds. So you are literally jacked into this thing, Anka. And it, when you move, or when your spine tells you to move, it moves the mech instead, which means that you have got abilities that the other guys haven't necessarily got, where the hauler is very much driving the rig. You are piloting it from your spine. So it means that you can do things like climb, you're a little more dexterous as well. So you're not a one-trick monkey, don't get me wrong. You're mostly a one-trick monkey. You fight and you fight well. But there are other things you can do. So a lot of this well, I say campaign, this mission, there's going to be ways where you can do a little bit of lateral thinking. And so don't be afraid to use the description of your mech and the things that's on it as well. And for the players that we have here, Drunken Storyteller. So Drunken Storyteller is in the chat at the moment, and as I say, you can check out their VOD that they did last night, which is the official mission that you get in the back of this book. So what I will say is that if I just look at, let's have a look at the Brawler here. You've got certain systems and modules that use energy points. Energy points and the equivalent for the players, action points, are a depletable resource that you'll be using to get past certain obstacles. However, you need to ration them out. Once they're gone, they're gone. It takes a week to get them all back. You do have some other things as well. So there is heat for the mech and stress for the pilot. And that's a form of attrition. You get too much of either, you're going to start to burn out, freak out, whatever. You can get rid of heat with your mech by shutting it down for 10 minutes and literally letting it cool down. In the case of stress, you need to take a timeout. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same thing. What I'll be doing, obviously, is trying to get it so that these are picking up. There is a time element to any salvage run. You don't want other people getting there before you. So I'll be trying to get you to waste time. I'll be trying to give you obstacles along the way with regard to that. But there are systems like, for example, anthropomorphic arms, or in the case of the Brawler, the 30mm autocannon, which doesn't use any energy points. So you can just use those to the heart's content as long as it's applicable. Anyway, let's get into the story. So you guys are at the settlement of Burke's Ranch in what was once Nevada, mostly because whenever I want to get any post-APOC maps, I go to Nevada on Google Maps. Whoever Burke was, he was a forward-thinking kind of guy, and his underground water reservoir and water condensers still work to this day. The Wastelanders who run the ranch make a decent living by trading fresh water and food for the all-important salvage to keep things running. While you're replenishing your supplies at the ranch, you spot a container grav ship with the word Valiant on the side skimming over the horizon. So this isn't something that's in Salvage Union, or might not be, but it's not in the beta guide. And what I've pictured is a large container ship, big, unwieldy kind of thing, but it's on a bunch of grav plates. And so it's skimming over the horizon, ridiculously large, but a speed that betrays its size. One of the ranchers says they want to be careful getting close to the flux. Before you get a chance to ask what he means, the speeding ship shakes violently and lists to one side. A stack of cargo containers spills off the side, raining onto what you're told is an abandoned town. The ship continues on for a few miles, needing to stop, as a supertanker would, and a few minutes later a smaller craft that's shaped a little bit like a Manta ray detaches. This Manta-class gravcraft can pick up the single cargo container and is used to load the larger vessel. I would point out, no one you know has any of these kind of grav ships. They are corpo only. And this is where I'll point out some of the parts of Salvage Union. You're all Wastelanders. There are 3 factions, effectively. The Wastelanders, that's yourself. The corpos, the people who literally live above you in arcologies or in big kind of mega cities, very kind of 20,000 AD. And then there's, well, we can call them a faction, the Meld, but we'll get to them later. As it approaches the town, the rancher says, "They don't learn too fast, do they? It was only the speed of the big un that saved them." He gestures, and sure enough, as soon as the Manta gets over the town, it drops out of the sky. The rancher turns to you. "The flux done do nothing to mechs. Radios crackle some, but grav engines shut down completely." The rancher finishes his drink, gives you all a nod, and heads inside. The Valiant, on the other hand, appears to cut its losses watching its downed ship, and speeds away. You can't believe your luck. Some grade A salvage has fallen straight out of the sky. The researchers on your crawler start to consult the locals and plot the routes to get to it. This is where I shall bring up a map. And just realised that we have some problem with getting you guys on the screen, but the map is all important at the moment. We'll come back to your beautiful faces in a second. So for the guys who can't see the screen, I will quickly put the map into the chat for you all. So players, if you check the Discord, you'll have a copy of the map that everybody can see on the screen at the moment. So there are 3 routes to Ashvale, which is the town, and that is marked with an X. You're currently at A in the top right-hand corner, and there are 3 different routes. The quickest route is clearly Route 2, so that's B2 and C2. But this follows the old mag train strip. This route is the most dangerous, however, because feral metal-devouring nanites, known as the Meld, are inhabiting the mag strip. And these things will quite happily take apart any of your mechs if you're not careful, and you'll have to fight them off along the way. Route 1 exploits a safe crossing point on the mag strip near the ranch. This route is only a little bit longer, but it does have shifting sand dunes and an exposed approach to the town, which may announce your arrival to any antagonists seeing you coming. Finally, you've got Route B3 to C3. It is the longest route. The ash flats at the start, where the ranchers hunt these big bull-sized predators. They call biotes, but are actually a smaller version of Biotitan. So since the fall, there have been these genetically engineered large creatures that can even endanger mechs. And these large bull-sized predators that the ranchers tell you about tell you that they're no match individually, but as a pack they can ram, bite and claw away at a mech chassis in order to get to the tasty pilot inside. The approach to the town after that, however, is through a number of ridges and gullies which will cover your approach. None of the routes are perfect. It's basically a case of choose your poison. So, that's the setup. You can ask whatever you want of the ranchers, and then when you've decided on your route, you can head on your way.
Fair enough. Anyone got a preference?
Well, we're probably going to have to fight in the abandoned city, so...
I think whichever way we go has got its downsides, obviously. If we are going to have to fight when we get there, do we really want to take the route which is so open they can see us coming?
Well, the only good thing about that is we can also see them coming.
Mm.
We'd also be there before anyone else.
Maybe.
And it is a fairly straight shot. I mean...
My weapon's long range.
Yeah, mine too.
Everyone else?
So we're deciding on route 1?
I'm thinking if we've got long range, we can just... It means opening fire early, like...
I think we've got less danger en route, and then we only have to deal with the danger when we get there, is how it's sounding, isn't it?
Yeah, and my missile pods are also long range, so...
It looks like 1's going to be a worse combat at the end. 2's going to be double combat, and 3 is going to be double combat and longer.
Yeah.
But I say 2's kind of literally the middle ground.
It's the nanites that are going to eat our mechs, which I don't pretty much fancy that route.
Yeah. And
we blow them
we
up?
don't
The
have a
nanites,
hacker
can
to
we
try
even
to
see
hack
them?
the nanites either.
Yeah.
In this world, a nanite's big and...
Sorry. Go on.
I was just going to say, if we hit them with enough explosives, can we blow the nanites up, or are we talking hordes?
So the nanites are destroyable. They take damage like anything else. They're not particularly immune to damage. Damage immunity is not really a thing in this game. But they are nanites, so what they will do is kind of recover a lot.
And all they got to do is burrow into one of ours and replicate.
I've got a thing on my mech which lets me scan an area. Is it possible to scan one of these routes before we go on it using that ability?
Yes, I will say with that ability you can scan immediately before. So before you go in, you can use that ability to scan and get what you need from there. It's what the scout does after all.
I mean, like, there's a chance there I could maybe find us a path through the nanites doing that, or at least find a route where there's less of them.
I will give you that.
The quick route.
That's probably not possible because the nanites infect the entire mag rail, and you will have to be going along the mag rail. So you've got the mag rail that goes down the center, and either side of it you've got some concrete. And the appeal of that route is that you'd be walking along the concrete kind of foundations of the mag rail. So the entire way you'll be attracting an audience of lots of little nanites that are stuck to it. Normally the meld aren't constricted to a particular place. There's a particular anomaly here where for some reason the meld just love this rail. They just inhabit it. And that's something the ranchers would give you as well.
Okay. So scratch that idea then.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we take that one off the table?
Well, it depends on how combat happy you are. I have obviously thought about players being players. So if you wanted to, Leroy Jenkins this and charge towards the town, guns blazing, using up all those tasty energy points, then I've given you an option to do so. You might get to the edge of the town and go, right, we're spent, back we go.
Can we salvage other mechs if someone beats us to it?
Yes, so that is a big thing in this game. If you end up in a fight, as long as you don't completely vaporize the opponent, it's salvage time.
Take what you kill.
I say we go 3, and when we're in this nice cover and we see someone else in that village, we have those of us with long-range weapons just take out any mobility. And we just get the extra scrap.
So even if we lose the initial cargo, we can just use them as our cargo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
We use it as bait.
So
it's less about the cargo.
I gotta say, I do like the third path better, and maybe I can do the scouting thing there and try and avoid the big hulking monster things.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's just a slower path because we got up, down, right?
Yeah, I think by taking that, we're probably guaranteeing that we're going to get there second, right? Yeah. But if we're prepared to deal with whatever's there when we get there, having the cover when we come out is going to be more important than speed. Yeah.
Yeah. If we get to the end of there and we're kind of all sat there with.
Okay. So it looks like you guys are going to go from A to B3 to C3 and then in from there. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Well, to make sure I was serious about this, I actually printed off all my notes as well, so that's good. And also, well, they're kind of cruddy notes, but most of this is going to be ad lib anyway, so they're mostly suggestions. They're more guidelines. I'm very happy to link this to anybody who's interested in running this adventure or very easily improving on it. So you're going to take Route 3. The Ash Flat. Yep, and you wanted to scout beforehand. So yeah, don't worry, you'll get a chance to do that. So the Ash Flats would normally be a place nature would avoid, but the carbon and nitrogen rich land patches the carbon and nitrogen rich land patches being decades from the original event that created them means that plant life and other such life is springing up and drawing insects, larvae, and as a result, animal life can be found rooting amongst here, attracting more predators. The locals, before you head off, tell you that they get meat and manage the danger of the mutated beasts that they call biotes with regular hunts and culls at the edge of the territory using long-range weaponry. But caution that even mechs will be attacked by these desperate and genetically enhanced creatures once you stray further in. So, Dave, I believe you wanted to do some scouting. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Fiona. I didn't realise their voices weren't working on that screen, so we'll switch back to this one. So yes, I'm going to have to repeat what you just said, Dave, and we'll fix that. So the survey scanner allows you to scan a specific point of interest within far range, such as a ruin, unique terrain feature, settlement, or base. I will allow scanning the ash flats as part of that. You must stop to make a scan, and it takes 10 minutes to complete. You can only scan the same area once. If an area is not of interest, then the medium must say so before the roll is made. It is of interest, so if you want to give me an energy point and roll me a d20. And whilst you're doing that, I will go give OBS a kick.
That's not as good as it could be.
No, I think it's still a success,
12 is still fine. 12 is still absolutely fine.
Oh,
so
yeah, sorry. It's 11
12.
or
Like a
right.
success,
there
right?
you go.
Yeah, you can ask me 3 questions about the area. Go ahead. Ask me the questions.
Where are all the monsters?
Okay, the monsters you can see are, let's see, it would be towards the east. If you stay away from the east, you can see as you're scanning there seems to be large moving heat signatures, and I've just realised somebody's just popped out. Who was it? It was
Hermit's lost
has lost connection. So he'll be back in just a moment. So we're going to have a messy screen for a little bit, but we will continue. These things do happen. Typically, they come back in very quickly. In fact, there we go. And then it's back. Yes, if you stay away from the east, you should be able to keep enough ground between you and the beasts to at least outrun them, even with Commodore's heavy rig. You can plot a path that slightly bows out of the way of them if you wish, and avoid the encounter. That's question 1.
So based on what you just said on question 1, question 2 will be, does that mean it's possible to plot a riskier route that would be quicker to get us through this terrain?
Absolutely. If you just go straight as the crow flies, you will get close enough that these creatures will probably see your dust clouds. You can now that you're tracking them, you can see there's this slight haze on the horizon where the ash flats are being kicked up by these stampeding, herding beasts. You're not quite sure what they are. You've had very vague descriptions from the ranchers. If you wanted to go just that little bit faster and get some extra combat in as well, you can just go straight through and pay hell for leather.
Last question will be, at the end of this whole area that we're going through, is there going to be somewhere where we can basically hide so we can get a view of them, a view of the town or whatever before we have to come out of hiding?
So the ash flats is what you're scanning at the moment, which is B3. Once you once you get into C3, which is like little canyons and rocky outcroppings, that's one of the major pull points for this route, and that is that you will have a covered approach.
Right. Okay. So that's okay. All right. I'll relay that to the guys. What do you think? Do we want to try and speed this up, or do we want to stick to keeping the safe route? Because
well, from what they said, what the ranchers said, didn't they actually attack as a herd, don't they?
They're very powerful as a herd. They're not very powerful on their own, but as a herd, they are very dangerous.
Got a mortar that could possibly drive them where we want them. If we want to go straight down the middle, we could try and get them off the path.
Well, I think we should stick to like the ridge line where the high points are, so we can see anything coming.
Can they be salvaged? Like, can we have them as cargo?
Absolutely.
Or is it just meat?
meat, leather, bone, barbs, shell, depends what's on them.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
okay, but what's the value of that compared to like picking up mechs and hover manta ray things?
Depends if we get there in time.
Like, is the settlement starving and needing food?
No, they sold you food.
Yeah, so we're going to haul these guys back taking up valuable cargo space, and they're going to be like, "What are we going to do with this?" Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get a barbecue out of it.
Congratulations,
but, I mean, we're
you
not
killed
going
our sustainable herd.
yeah, we're not
Yeah.
going to get all our weapons reloaded and mechs repaired, are we?
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, it's up to you guys, but I think I would rather get the shiny salvage.
Yeah, I would go for the shiny salvage. The only question I would have is if we were to kill one of them, would the other ones eat it? I.e., would distract them from us.
They're hungry.
Do we know enough of any of us biologists?
No.
But the only thing we could do is
didn't-
that we sell the meat as sort of to barter with it, with the guys who are most likely going to be first at the salvage.
I just think there's no such thing as bad salvage.
And I think we can use the barter.
Yeah, we're long range. I reckon we can at least take shots and see how they react, get more information, if nothing else, and we do it from the top
Yeah,
of the
but
ridge.
if the reaction is that they all start swarming towards us, that's not the reaction we
Fire.
want, right?
Fire everything at them.
Yeah, well, that's when my auto cannons come out, right?
That's all well and good. Yeah, I get that, but I do well at long range. I could do well at staying at long range.
Well, but we could just send either a rocket or a mortar into them and see what happens, right? And just shoot it on the edge closest to us. So hopefully it would drive them away from us.
Yeah, I could hit a bunch at once with that mortar.
Can I just stop you guys for a second? Can you say something now just to check that you can be heard on the other screen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What do you
Testing.
need?
1, 2,
Yep.
3.
Okay, fantastic.
hello.
They can hear you on the map screen
Yeah.
as well now, so
Okay.
Okay.
that's useful. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Right.
Okay.
Sure. The gun-ho guys want to blow things up. I'll step aside for a minute.
So what you have done is you have given them an advantage because you know where they are. You can set up a long range run instead of maybe being distracted and them jumping in. Banhammer on Sam XTZ, please. Thank you, Mod. You can kind of take a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. So, you're going to take the long route round just so that you can get a really good shot at far range. And, I'm very happy to do this. And, you've already gone off book. So, there we go.
Always
Did you
good.
expect anything else?
We weren't even trying, Si. I mean, lace your boots up, mate.
Dave, you do have 2 other questions.
No, I had 3 questions. You said.
Yeah.
I get 5. I get 5 if we got 20. I only got.
Yeah, that's why I said you got 2 other questions. You only asked 1.
He asked
Well,
3, right?
I thought I asked 3. Yeah, I asked where the monsters were, whether we could get a quick route through, and whether we would have any cover at the end. But I mean, if you don't want to count those,
I won't
last
count
2,
the last question. So you can have 1 more question.
Okay.
They'll know when they get closer, fish.
See, I don't know if we need anything. Do we need anything else? Oh, is there anything else? I'm just going to ask this every single time. Is there anything else that the scanner picked up?
That's very non-specific. I'm going to go with, do I find anything of interest? And say yes. There does appear to be some sort of metallic signal, but it's too close to the herds. You'd either have to stealth up to it, or just be ready to defend yourself whilst you're salvaging.
Well, actually, based on that, then I'll point out actually, the guys obviously freedom of information. If you guys want to cause a distraction, blowing shit up, I might sneak over there and take a peek at what that is. See if it's
Thanks for
anything
me.
we can
Absolutely.
keep, yeah?
I just want to show some love to the D20 Future Show for raiding us. Thank you very much, Rich. And if you guys haven't seen it already, D20 Future Show did Jason Stratham's Big Vacation with Joseph from Chaotic Neutral as part of the Dragon Meat content, which we'll send out a link when we can get hold of some. So great to see you guys. We are doing the playtest or hot playtest because I wrote a mission, and hopefully it doesn't suck, of Salvage Union. So, yes, you seem to have a plan. Bomb the poor creatures at long range whilst Dave goes in and nicks some loot. And okay, this is going in the direction I kind of expected it in. So let's go for this. You can see that, funnily enough, there's as many of these creatures in the herd as there are players. So you can see 4 of these creatures at long range, thanks to the scans that Dave has provided. He says, skipping a course on his notes, these creatures are feline in shape, but the sun shines off their form on what seems to be some sort of chitinous armor.
How close are they to each other?
These 4 are a herd. They seem to be like a family unit, and all of them are roughly hippo-shaped.
Can I hit them all with a mortar at the same time? It says it hits adjacent ones.
Yeah. At the moment, they're just chilling out, just kind of doing a herd thing of staying together, providing shade for each other. I'm thinking back to my my herd biology. So
very innocent.
Right now, they are just chilling out, enjoying the sun. So yes, you can bomb this family unit if you want with a mortar. They are at far range. Can you fire at far range?
I've got long range. Is it same or different?
So far is further than long, I think. I will just check that. New system and all
I
that.
imagine so.
My railgun is far range.
My antimatter rifle is far range.
Yeah, that's because they're both
mortar's
snipers.
Yeah.
So
I
far
have to
is
get
longer
out my
than
mech to use that.
yeah,
so.
far is longer than long. So what you can do, Tom, is wait for the railgun to hit one of them, and if they start running in your direction, once they hit long range, just bomb the buggers.
Do we want to do? Is that what we want to do, boys? Or do you want me to slowly waddle down a hillside?
Or you can get closer. You can get to long range.
You can also just scare them away from the salvage.
Well, that was kind of my plan. I was just going to hit a mortar and see did they disperse or did they go towards the sound is what I'm trying to figure out. Because if we can figure out what they respond to, we can make them go wherever we want.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking we'll kill them, but I don't know whether Simon wants us all dead or wants them all dead.
If you want to get closer, Tom, you can do. And what will happen is you'll be at long range, the others will be at far range, and then you just let go of all the weapons simultaneously. Although if you're going to get closer, I'd suggest you take Unka with you.
I was going to say, if he's up for it.
I was just thinking the same thing. If you because I've got my missile pods, and I can also equally shoot them at long range.
Okay, this is looking like a plan.
And I also have multi-targeting, which will allow me to target more than one. So.
Yep, you definitely can. So, Dave, whilst they are filling the sky full of heavy ordnance, are you going to be contributing, or are you going to be trying to go off and nick the shiny?
Yeah, I'm not contributing to this. I'm gonna use this distraction to try and sneak past them and get to this strange object. I don't know if Hermit wants to come along, but I'm certainly.
Hermit is not stealthy.
No, I mean,
I'm probably going to stay back as sniper.
Hermit is a walking village.
I'm not really sure how stealthy I could end up being, but I could at least get away
probably
quickly.
more stealthy, but you do have an extra advantage, Dave. So, light mechs go at twice the speed of all other mechs. So if it was just you on your own, you could go through B3 in half the time that these guys would. You're just choosing not to.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell him that.
Maybe I'll do some point taking point things later. But
that's what the scout does.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I'm gonna zoom off then. I'm gonna go investigate the shiny.
Okay. Let's do this.
I'm going to stay back as a sniper.
I was going to say, you've got a railgun. You can join them at the same time, and you don't even have to move. You're just sat there with your feet up on the console with a big red button and a cup of tea, just ready to set this thing off. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to go with the attacks first, and then depending on how badly they screw up, we'll see what happens to Dave. This is going to be let's call it surprise round, because these things don't know what's going for it. So, Tom, this is going to be at long range. It's
Yes.
something that your mech can do. It's literally sitting targets, so I'm going to give you an option to just auto hit,
Yeah.
or you can choose to roll a d20, which of course will have a 1 in 20 chance of doing double damage. What would you like to do?
I'm going to be a massive letdown, and I am just going to take the regular. Just do the 2 damage to the primary target, and then 1 for the adjacent targets in engaged range.
Absolutely. So this is all going off at the same time. You count yourselves in, and then boom, 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 boom. So yep, you mortar the fuck out of that area. The largest one takes 2 points of damage, and all the others get 1 point of damage. They get up completely startled as a part of this entire salvo, and do seem to be looking for what just hurt them. Frankly, Unka, what are you doing?
I'm going with the multi-targeting,
Okay.
and I'm going to hit him with the good old missiles.
Okay. So again, this is all part of a surprise salvo. You can just take 20. You can just not take 20. You can just effectively take 10 and it'll hit, or you can choose to roll a d20 to see if you get double damage.
Oh, let's go for the D20 and have some fun.
Okay. So you can roll this in chat by going into the Twitch chat and writing typing exclamation point d20. A 14. 14. So that's just a regular hit. But it's a regular hit with no drawbacks. So, yeah. How much damage does this do? And how many targets are you hitting?
I'm going to aim for all 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it does damage of 3.
3.
And it deals an additional 1 to everything in melee range of the target.
Right, okay. So, I need to read this because that's devastating. My God. I'm not doubting you. I just, they're like, what? Really? So, missile pod pretty much fucks shit up. Yeah, that's it. And so, yeah, you've used the multi-targeting. When activated, you fire. You may fire of your ranged weapons as one action, but each must have a different target. Roll each attack as normal, and cost energy per weapon fired. Right, so what happens here is, I think you... And Leyline, feel free to contradict me on this. I think it means that you can fire your missile pods and your autocannon on the same turn. I'll just read that again. When activated, you may fire of your ranged weapons as one action. But each must have a different target. Yeah, so you can fire your missile pod at one of them, and your autocannon at one of them, and it costs you 1 energy point just basically to have dual wield. You're firing. You're doing an alpha strike.
I am out of range for the autocannon, so that's why I'm just going with the missile pod.
In that case, you can only hit 1, and
all right.
But it doesn't use any energy points. Is the good news. Your missile pod has no energy usage. So okay. You do 3. Would you like to do 3 damage to the one that had most damage, or do you want to do 3 damage to one of the ones that just had 1?
We'll go for one of the ones who had 1.
Okay.
And again, it deals additional 1 SP to everything within melee range of the target.
Which was definitely the things it was lying down with, as we've already discovered. You send over these missiles. So the mortar blows up, the missiles come down, and it's just these creatures are stuck in an ordnance sandwich, and the fact that they're getting up at all is telling you something about how dangerous these things are. These things should not have been able to get up. What you can see, though, is as these 2 attacks hit, the air was filled with shrapnel, which typically doesn't happen coming off the target. So the chitinous armor has just been blown to buggery. It's scattered all over the place. And this is one of the features of them, is that they get to ignore a certain amount of attack. And as I say, you would have some very nearly dead creatures if you hadn't done that. Now, last to fire is Commodore. You've got this whacking great railgun. It will give you some heat, but you can hit them from here. Would you like to target one of them?
Do I want to? Yes, I want to. I'm going to attack the one who looks The most hurt or the least hurt?
Beefy boy. Always go for beefy boy.
Beefy boy? I'm going for beefy boy.
If you've got the big gun and the red button.
So you're going to go for the one that's most hurt but still standing.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. This is a single target over a very long range. No,
And
it's
five damage.
what you do. It's what you do. I'm just going to allow it. So take your one heat, and oh my god, this railgun.
Yes.
5 structure points. That will take out Dave's mech. Yeah. A single shot will take out Dave's mech.
Please don't.
Just write that one down.
The largest of the
Oi.
4 just gets completely obliterated. There's this bright red spray that just goes pff, out the other side, and the railgun projectile just keeps going. You have no idea where the fuck that's gone. Presumably, it's killed another one a few miles down the road. You're not entirely sure. However, the other 3 seems to have gone into some sort of frenzy and are now coming towards you. But this is the point where we go towards Dave. So,
Okay.
Catfish, you're running towards these things because the scrap is kind of tangentially close to them. As long as you are able to get up and harvest this thing in time, as long as these guys keep firing, you should be able to get this done.
I'm not entirely sure I'm going to stop to harvest. I want to get a good look at it first. if it's like another mech, I'm not even going to try and drag that out of there. That's not my plan.
Okay. As you get up to it, it is a pile of scrap. But I would like you to give me a D20 roll.
Okay.
A 6. So
Oh dear.
a 6 isn't the best.
No, it's not.
You can, however, do something, and this is the first chance that I've been able to give to you, is you can choose to push yourself or push your mech. When you push yourself, you take either 2 stress or 2 heat, depending on what you push. Then you have to do a roll on a d20 and make sure you roll below your stress or your heat. Yeah? It allows you to re-roll that d20. At the moment, at 6 to 10, you're just in tough choice. You succeed, but at a cost. And believe me, I know what the cost is going to be.
I mean, there's not many rolls that would be worse than that, right? So I think we'll do it. We'll take the 2 stress and we'll re-roll.
Okay. So first of all, re-roll your d20.
This is just going to be like some toaster ovens that have been dumped off of a truck that went past yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah, Leyline,
gonna say-
d20 damage would be insane in this game.
Catfish, don't you also have camo? So if you just stopped, they wouldn't be able to see you.
Well, yeah. I don't know if it's that good. Like, is it?
So Dave, give
Am I
us
like a
another
chameleon?
roll.
I'm just like, you can't see me.
Another 6!
Come on!
Oh! Okay, right. So first of all,
That adds up to a 12, right? That's how that works, right?
because you push yourself, you now have to do another d20, and if you get, let me get this right, it's under your heat, which is 2, something interesting happens.
Okay.
So don't roll less than 2.
Thanks. Yeah. That's what's going to happen now.
We know it's going to happen.
An 8. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Okay,
We're fine.
so
Okay, I want to acknowledge right now, I'm taking all the bad rolls for you guys. This is me taking one for the team.
Yeah.
MVP right here. Just say it.
essential part of it all. So yeah, you manage to scan it, and you discover that in amongst all this trash, this was dumped by a mech. So some sort of mech with trash on its back dumped this unceremoniously on the floor, presumably so it could get more speed to get away from the things that are currently charging towards you. One of the canisters seems to be intact and very easy to pick up. However, as you're doing this, and it will cost you 1 EP to harvest it, you will potentially gather the attention of one of the charging creatures.
1. I can handle 1. Yeah, we'll go for it.
Okay. So spend 1 energy point, And if I switch back to the RP screen, I would like you...
roll a d20 to see how good it is, because that seems like where this is going.
Yep, absolutely. So there...
come on!
there are tech tables. No, it's okay, because when it comes to salvage, it's all good. It's just depending which one you get. So I'll bring up Salvage Table 2. So you've got the option of circuitry, fuel, explosives, optical glass, or liquid gases, which of course are going to be able to chill things down. Not only are these money and salvage that you can use to upgrade your mechs in future, but also you can use them in context. So, for example, if you have explosives, you can use explosives. Yeah.
Okay, so is this going to be random, or are you offering
it's random.
To pick from?
So, so if you roll a d20, we'll find out what's in the... see you later, Reg. You rolled a 5, so you
hate me. The dice hate
fuel.
me.
Well, in this case, it might be good for you. You've got some fuel, some good incendiary fuel. This can be used as a part to create something later on, or it could, as I say, it could be used as part of the narrative. So, yep, I'm just checking your.
It's not going to get me the energy point back I used picking it up, though, is it?
No, it won't do that. I'm just checking. Your Gopher does have.
It has some cargo space.
It has cargo space. You're fine. It has cargo space. So, yep, you put it into your cargo space and get ready to book it back. At this point, let's see. I think Leyline themselves can do a D20. So, Leyline, do exclamation point D20, and let's see Dave's fate. This is going to go in the opposite direction now.
This will be a 20 now. This is like...
While this is going on, I just message through to Common and just say, we can't salvage mist. So, like, you may need to hold off on the cannon. It was cool. But, like, yeah.
Yeah, instant pate. So, with a 12 success, the NPC achieves their goal successfully. Okay. So, yes, one of the remaining 3 creatures breaks off and starts pegging it towards Dave and will be with him next turn. So, I'm going to put...
When you say with me, does that mean like engaged range?
As in charging on top of you, yeah.
Okay, lovely.
So you guys have got 1 round to potentially save Dave, and Dave.
Guys, I got some fuel, highly volatile, highly explosive, highly flammable liquid coming your way.
So basically,
AKA, please don't use the mortar near me. Okay, so the situation so far across the ash flats, you've got these 3 large, as I say, kind of like giant shell-covered tiger-like creatures chasing towards Dave, the size of hippos, and 2 of them are coming straight to the source of the original fire, which is going to be Tom and Unka. And their entire turn, because we are technically in combat now, their entire turn at the end of this is going to be starting to sprint towards you. So we're going to go into initiative proper, and at this point I should explain initiative in Salvage Union. It uses the popcorn initiative technique, which means that you guys, I choose who goes first, and then after that, the person who goes says who goes next, and so on until everybody's done. The downside to this is that if you choose all 4 of you to go first, sure, you can do that, no problem. But some creatures in this do well if they group together. So sure, they'll go at the end of the initiative, but they may be able to support each other. Or, for example, if they see one of you is weakened, suddenly you're taking 3 hits instead of spacing it out. So, I'm going to say, based on the direness of Dave's situation, that Dave goes first on this round. So what are you going to do?
What distance is this from me at the moment?
At the moment, based on this, they are on short range to you. You have to get quite close.
They're on short range.
Yeah. So it's engaged close, long, or far. They're close.
Right. Okay. Right. How much can I do in a turn? Can I be moving away and shoot at the same time?
In a single round, you can do 1 move and 1 action. And so an action is basically everything that's on the right-hand side of your mech sheet. and then move. In everyone else's case, they can go 1 range band. In your case, you can go 2.
Can't fire my personal weapon from inside the mech, though, I assume.
Personal weapons do half damage to mech and mech-sized objects, so it will only do half the damage to these creatures. Can you shoot out of a window? Sure, I'd allow it. It would be definitely a D20 because your rule of cooling this, but I'd allow it. Yeah, sure.
You've also got the long barreled laser, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, both that and the antimatter rifle do 2 damage, but on a 20, the antimatter just obliterates the target.
Okay.
I mean, dice owe me a 20 at this point, so.
Well, your antimatter rifle will only do 1 point of damage because it's because obviously it only does it for.
I don't think 2 is going to be enough to kill these things regardless. So I'm just looking at the Hail Mary.
Actually, I'm going to get beardy with this, and even though I don't have as impressive a beard as the guys from the Drunken Storyteller last night, big beard envy there, I am going to go strokey beard. The Scout antimatter rifle says range, long, damage 2 SP, not 2 HP.
Oh, does everybody else not say that? Oh, right, okay.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if it's a print error, but everybody else has got HP on their weapons. The antimatter rifle does 2 SP. Presumably, it's a handheld anti-mech weapon.
It's huge if you look at the
Again,
picture. It's like a massive 12-foot gun.
Yeah, that's why I'm willing to believe that it's said for a reason. And Leyline Press has just confirmed that antimatter rifle is intended as an anti-mech weapon.
Okay.
I'm going to allow for rule of cool on this. If you want to open up a window, cock the antimatter rifle out and give it a shot, I'll go for it.
I will do, because it's a one-shot, but I am fully aware that I'm cheesing this, so...
it's good cheese, though. The cheese is good. Yeah. There we go.
Cheese is good on this one. Okay, right, come on. The 20 that it owes me. I am only going to move... This both at long range. I thought it was far range, but it is actually long range. So I want to keep within range to shoot. But if I can... I'll shoot now and then move.
Yeah, either way is fine. Yeah.
I want to keep as much distance as possible, but still get my shot off, basically. Yeah. So
go for it.
Oh.
Right, so we add up all the dice I've rolled so far, and I've got like 22. That's good, right?
So you need 2 4s next, because that was 6, 6, 5, 5.
What is going on? Seriously, what is going on?
He's not playing Yahtzee.
I was going to say, it's time to get out your manual dice.
I'm tempted.
Unfortunately, you miss. And I mean, it would have been cool if you'd managed to crack this off because, you basically, open up a panel in the side of it, line up your boomstick.
Driving while shooting.
Fire it. And, it would have been good. The kind of mech version of a drive-by. But unfortunately, it was not to be. And a little frustrated, you pull it in, press the button to close the panel again, and start running back to the others who are quite a bit more substantial than you are, and probably not going to die as much if these things end up dogpiling you. So, Dave, who do you want to go next?
Oh, sorry, just reading the description of the actual gun. That's pretty awesome. Who do I want to go next? I'm going to pass on to Unker, I think. Let's see what the soldier can do, because the scout is useless.
All right. Well, they're still within my long range, right?
They haven't gone yet, so they are now in... no, they moved, so they are long to close now. So they are now in close range as of this turn.
All right.
They're close to you, and they are long to Hermit.
All right.
Because
if
of
they're
how
close
range
to
bands
me,
work.
then I am going to do the multi-targeting. I will fire both a missile pod at one and the autocannon at the one I've already injured.
Sure. So 2 of them are grouped together. So if you fire the missile pod, it will hit 2 of them. And then you're going to autocannon 1 as well. Sounds good to me. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. again, they are charging towards you in an open field. I will allow you to just auto hit, or you can roll a d20 to try and get a 20. I appreciate this is a less promising concept after seeing Dave's rolls.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for the auto hit this time.
Absolutely.
Try to protect Dave a little.
So you're going to hit the 2 together on the missile pod. And so, auto hit on that. One of them dies immediately thanks to previous damage. And the other one is partially wounded. So there's only 2 left now. One going for Dave and one going for the group. And so the next thing is the autocannon. Because the autocannon has a particular ability, you do have to roll a d20 for this one, Unka.
Okay.
Anything... it's a regular roll. A 3, that's a miss, but you can push yourself if you wish.
All right, let's push it and re-roll it.
Yep, give yourself some heat. So you're re-rolling the attack roll first, and then you have to do the stress roll.
It says I can't do it because it's the same thing I did within the last
just type. It's a night thing. Just put in like a period and then press enter, and then it'll allow you to do it again. And now just roll it properly. But now just do it without the period. There we go. 14. That's much better. That's absolutely a hit. And now put in a period, then put in the roll again to see if you roll under your current heat, which is 2. Just realised I could probably get around this by just making you a mod.
It didn't. Okay, it didn't take it with just a period. So hold on. Let me try it.
You rolled a 1.
Oh no.
Okay,
no.
So as you heat it up a little too much. And I'm just going to read out, because the system's very good for this. So if you push your mech, pushing is risky. After pushing your mech, you add 2 heats to it. Then you roll a d20. If the result is equal to or under your current heat, your mech's reactor overloads. Roll on the reactor overload table to see what happens to your mech. So once again, another d20, I'm afraid.
Oh my.
Oh gosh.
Are we going to take out Unka? A 2. System overload. One of your systems is overloaded and is destroyed. This is chosen by me. Let's see. What do I want to take off you? Systems. Ooh, I want to take out your... I'm going to take out your arms.
My arms?
Yeah. Your arms just for some reason just go limp next to the to your side. You can still fire the autocannon that's mounted on your shoulder and the missile pod, because weirdly, even though in the picture you're carrying your autocannon, if I take out your arms, you can still fire it. It's very strange. But yes, you no longer have the ability to do melee combat. It's a problem with pushing sometimes. However, you do hit, and as a result, you take out another one of these large creatures. And the only one that's coming now is the one on Dave. So, Unka, you can either choose the one that's bearing down on Dave, or you can choose another member of the group.
I'm sorry, run that by me again?
You can choose Tom, Hermit, or the creature.
We'll go with Tom.
Tom, okay.
Okay. I can't repair you until I'm out, so I'm just gonna... Is it funny if I try and go and punch it?
I mean, you're in a giant metal chassis. There's no reason why you can't go up and, give it.
I was going to say, what range are we at now if I'm next to Unka? Are we at close yet?
You're close at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to run into engage, and I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to run into engage, and I'm going to try and weld it with my mining laser. My welding laser.
Okay.
Yep.
Your welding laser is used as a weapon and also as a repair tool. So as you can, you and Catfish pass each other. The catfish is the kind of lumping it away in this this incredibly fast mech. You run straight up, and this welding laser just pops out of the side of one of your repair arms. This beautiful long arc comes out of it, and you slash towards it. I will insist on a D20 for this one because these are melee creatures. So give us a D20.
This is where it goes wrong.
And as Leyline pointed out, if you'd got one less, Unka, you would have blown up. The mech would have blown up. So you hit Tom, and that was all that you needed for this one. So you've managed to successfully kill the entire group, and you've also got some loot to show for it. So we're out of combat now. So Catfish has some fuel, and you can... Yeah, you obliterated one of them. You can take up to 3 carcasses onto your hauler, if you wish.
The salvage that Catfish saw, so in the game, is it one person rolls for it and then that salvage is dealt with?
So there may be multiple parts of the salvage. So if there's like a system, sometimes you can take the whole system. Sometimes it's parts of a system so that you can get a few bits out of it. Everything that you loot takes 1 energy point. So obviously you've got to balance keeping your energy points to deal with future obstacles, but also getting some loot so it was worth going in the first place. In this case, it was just 1 piece of loot that was useful. All the rest was just scrap metal. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to... I need to see whether it was my character or not. I'm going to use the field repair ability.
Okay, fantastic.
So I'm going to spend 2 AP to repair on Kazan.
Let's see. Repair a target mech or structure by 2 structure points. It doesn't say here that you can just repair a system.
Field repair under engineer.
Oh, this is a personal ability.
Yes. Sorry.
Absolutely, yeah. So 2 action points. So you're using your personal supply here.
I'm gonna. It says in the description I can use it in my mech and use energy. So I was going to use.
You know what?
Energy.
I need to read it, don't I? Yes, it does say that you can use the energy points if you've got a mech with a welding laser. Yeah. So you just go straight up, and all it is just as Unka was pushing his mech, there was just a few power connections that just fused the fuck out. So you just go up there, weld it all back into place, and Unka, your arms suddenly just back into action. You could feel through them again. Haptic feedback and everything.
Thank you.
There we go.
Nice.
Teamwork. So, the Ash Flats conquered. You can, if you wish, spend up to 3 energy points. Anybody can do it. Anybody that's got arms that can pick them up can spend. You can spend 1 energy point to pick up one of these carcasses and put them either onto Dave's Gopher or onto Hermit's Atlas. Probably best to put it on the Atlas. It's got tons of space. Each of the carcasses will take up 1 cargo slot. But as has been discussed previously, they may not be the best salvage. Would you like to take any?
I was going to take 1 because I've got 3 cargo as well.
Okay, sure.
Well, I've got 12, so...
Yeah, I'll bring it to you then. It'll be handy, just in case.
Okay. So
said they got chitinous plates.
Absolutely. So yeah, Tom, if you want to just spend the energy point, there's no harvest roll in this. You have a carcass, and that can be used for plates, food, leather, whatever you'd want to do that. Okay, so you have now managed to successfully go through B3, which means that all you've got left is C3. C3 is a little bit easier.
Before we leave, Si, I want to give the team an opportunity to go significantly off book. I'm going to use one of my action points to use my track ability to find out exactly what type of mech it was that dumped the cargo and what direction it was going away in.
Absolutely. Funnily enough, it was a Gopher-style survey mech that was going in that direction, and it was going out of the story. Yeah.
Let's follow it.
Yeah. Yeah,
knew
it
what was
went
gonna
past that invisible wall where you're just there, kind of walking past it. Yeah,
I
it
keep
went
trying to
through
go
that.
this way, but something blue is getting in my way. I can't get past it.
Stripes in the air.
Yep. It
These
went through
NPCs
that.
just disappear.
Seems to have some sort of strange ability. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
so glad I spent an AP on that. Let's go.
I can't help it if you're going to use it on background detail. Yeah, take the AP.
I'll get you back.
Take the AP back because you did.
You sure? I don't mind.
Well, you succeeded and pushed yourself on what was the original roll to notice that the mech had dumped it. So I'm going to say that was already succeeded, but it was
Okay.
just funny to watch you wasting your action points. Okay. So the last approach to the town is concealed. But you have to negotiate a harsh and unyielding rocky ground to get there. It's quite stressful for most of you, and getting through these canyons and this rocky, unyielding ground where you're at weird angles and things. You're on tenterhooks the entire time. So I want everybody who isn't piloting a light mech, and I'll also allow, because of the arms, now that they're working again, Unka doesn't have to roll. So Tom and Hermit, I want you to roll, and if you fail this, you're going to get some stress.
Oh no. Oh.
Ooh. Ooh, Hermit.
This roller.
You
is
may
not
want to
being
push
nice
yourself,
today.
my friend.
Yeah, I'm pushing.
Okay.
I'm 100%
So
pushing.
Tom, yeah, absolutely, Tom. This is fine for you. You're a little bit rickety. You're starting to get a bit of motion sickness and stuff, but you managed to get past it all. So, Hermit, I'm going to insist that you need to use stress for this because it's a stress-based roll. So you can spend 2 stress to re-roll that roll.
Yeah, I'm 100% stressing.
13.
better.
Okay.
Much
So you
better.
do that. Now just give me another d20 because you need to roll above 2 now, or something mental will happen. A 3. Nearly. We nearly tested that part of the system. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. You're really kind of. No, you push yourself. So yeah, instead of feeling sick and jaded and kind of shook going into Ashvale, you grit your teeth and you give some of your personal reserves to be able to get through to the other side. So congratulations, you are now at Ashvale. So we are going to get rid of this map and we're going to go closer into Ashvale itself. And again, I'll drop that into the Discord for you guys as well. Give me a sec. That should have just turned up in the Discord for you. So you're coming in through C3, which means that you can go into either X2 or X3. I will tell you what you've got coming up before Dave chooses whether or not to scan. Obviously, each of these sectors are a different scan for you, Dave, if you wish.
Yep.
So on X2, you can see a train station. And it seems to be kind of the pride of this place. You have a feeling that this town in the middle of nowhere is a little bit of a haulage yard with a town strapped to it. And you can see these very large loading arms in the distance. Also, you can see a plume of smoke coming from what was presumably the Manta ray. So that's in X2. X3, on the other hand, is a factory complex, and it's this big old grid of nondescript square buildings. It's an industrial estate. They're quite tall, these buildings. So tall that your mechs could basically play hide and seek. So that's what you see with your eyes. If you want to, you can try to scan. The others are probably a little too far away. Actually, no, it's far range, your scanners, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly. Have a look. It says at far range. Yeah.
In that case, you can scan any of those 6 sectors.
That was just another question I was going to ask. Then is like how far does range go in the sense?
So each one has a description, and again, because we are doing this as a test, I'll open up for you. So engaged does what it says on the tin. Close range is about it says a good few strides away from the target, so can get to you within a round, which is a varying range. Long range is you can see the rough outline of a target at this range. It's visible with the naked eye, but for a clear view you need a scope. And then far range is a loose point on the horizon. You're able to see a small silhouette of your target, though for any detail you would need a scope. For any detail at all. Okay.
I mean, we don't want to spend an hour while I scan all 6, do we?
I mean, it won't be an hour for us. It'll just be an hour for the characters. But yes, the time is a factor.
As a group, how cautious do we want to be? Like,
okay, we're coming in from C3, so we're high on the ridge.
You can choose to be coming in either high on the ridge or through a gully. I've said you've got a covered approach, so narratively, you won't be seen on the top of the.
We took the slow route, so I think I'm going to scan X2 because that's where the prize is.
I was going to say, can we see like where the containers dumped off from here, or no?
I would say that because the containers are just containers in an otherwise town, I'm going to just have a quick look.
There is a crash ship in the same space.
There's a crash ship in X2 that you can definitely see.
Yeah,
and
but
I will say that you can see that a container definitely landed in X3 because one of the buildings has been smashed in very recently. Yeah.
So what do we want to go for? Do we want to go for the ship or the cargo?
Well, what's worth more, the grav?
Well, I mean,
potential.
I mean, it might be worth more, but we've just seen it not work. So
that's true.
What about
where
both?
most likely to be more enemies?
Well, this is it. I can scan from here, so I can find out.
Yeah,
it takes
I would say
10 minutes per area I scan. So
yeah, scan both.
That's why I'm asking which one.
X3 and then X2 and go from there. See what.
How long would it take us to get to X3 from where we are, Simon?
A narrative, you go there.
I mean, in the amount of time that Dave was doing a scan, for example.
10 minutes for the scan. It's about 10 minutes off this ridge. It's good clear land between here and there. Technically speaking, because what is, I think, either a river or a road became the mag trail for this. And there's a safe crossing point here because you went past the point where the nanites were coalescing. I'd say it's probably about a 10-minute full pelt, which means that Dave could get there in 5.
Because if Commodore and Catfish both have far-reach weapons, in the time it'd take me and Uncle to get down the hill, they could be ready to fire on someone when we fire on someone.
They can do the long-range sniping, and you and I can go down and see what we find.
This is a town, however, so long-range sniping, even on a ridge, may be difficult.
There may be a building in the way.
Yeah.
Certainly in X3, the factory complex that I told you about, because you can play hide and seek in there. If you're not in the complex, long-range weapons aren't going to be a thing.
I'm sold. Nobody seems to have a consensus on this, but I'm sold. I'm going to scan X3 because that's the one where we need to know what's going on in it more than the other. Because if we're going to go in there, we don't want to go in there blind.
Give me a D20.
Yeah.
And we know how D20 loves you today.
Let's see the damage.
Ooh.
18. Nice. Yep, full success. Full success.
Finally.
You get your 3 questions. So what questions would you like about X3? What is in X3?
What
else is in X3?
What was yeah, can I get anything on the cargo pod that was dropped? Where is it?
Absolutely.
What was in it? Yeah.
So you know the location. The location is there. And from the description you've got, you get some telemetry back. So when you scan it, you, funnily enough, find some that part of it is fuel. But it's fuel and a lot of other stuff. You're getting basically, I don't know, kind of aircraft parts. But it is a single module. And Leyline, I apologize in advance. This was one that came up in chat. and I've added it deliberately into the game, so I will spoiler this for you because you'll be able to figure it out. You found the jump jets.
Okay. Do I know that? Do I know specifically the jump jets? Or...
Yes. I need to answer your question. You found you put together the telemetry and go, those are jump jets.
Okay. So for clarity, I'm assuming jump jets are basically stick them on a mech. We now have jumping mechs.
Yep.
Is that true? Right.
That is true. So the way we wrote it out was spend a number of EP and move that many range bands. You want to go from engaged to far? No problem. Blow the EP and off you go.
You see, I wanted jump jets, but now you told me the cost, so someone else can have them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a get out of trouble thing rather than a bouncy jumper everywhere.
So, okay. I've got 2 more questions, basically.
You do.
So, is there a second salvage team in the area?
I'm going to extend that and say yes, there is a mech in the area. You don't know if it's a salvage team, but there is a mech, and it's a big bugger.
Big
How
heavy
big
mech
is it?
1.
It's the same weight class as the Atlas.
From that, do I
Ooh.
have its location
It's-
on that question?
It's currently moving, and I was about to get you to roll, but this isn't the game where you roll that much, so it's moving in what seems to be a standard patrol pattern, despite the fact that it just rained a huge crate. It's still
It's
on
not
a very
moving. It's not
fixed
going to
pattern.
the crate. It's Oh, okay. But there's nobody else in the area, so we could potentially get that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Third question, then, guys.
Before you ask the third question, can I try and see if I can radio it?
Well, this is all done, I think, as the scan, so this would probably all come through.
This is going to happen within 10 minutes. So yeah, Tom, you want to see if you want to contact the mech that he's found? Yeah.
I just want to see what it call signs, see if it belongs to the town or if it's someone who's turned up and is saying, "Do not approach salvage, you will be destroyed." If so, I'm firing things at it.
Yeah, sure. You once you get it off Catfish, you radio it, and I'm gonna show my age now, and it's like dialing a fax machine.
Oh,
Including noises.
automated drone.
Yeah, we need you to actually do the noise sign.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me! Don't tempt me! Hang on. We have
It
the
is
power of
imperative.
epidemic sound. This is the point where I bring in use epidemic sound. They're fucking amazing. So, for example, I can just put in "Don't let me down, don't let me down" fax machine.
Where our head gets blown off by the volume.
No, I don't want to listen to the fax machine actually doing the fax thing connection. There we go. Now, you, the players, didn't hear it, but the rest of them heard it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So they're waiting for it going.
Yeah.
Don't think that worked, Si. Not happening, mate.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can only hear me on the Zoom call. It's the viewers who can hear the sounds. So, yes, that was...
I hope that was...
sounded very
entertaining.
ZX Spectrum, but there we go. Yes, you're getting machine code back, and I think you can put 2 and 2 together now. This isn't a human-powered mech. This is a throwback to Ed 209 from RoboCop.
Find some stairs then. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, third question. I'll throw it as a wild card. Is there anything else of interest in the area?
What can I notice? Thinking despite it trying to conceal itself.
In a word, no.
No, I didn't think there would be, to be honest, so that's why I didn't
Yeah,
need it.
it's like you've got buildings to hide in, and Ed 209 and jump jets. What more do you want? A pony?
Okay.
Uh,
I be
Alright.
clear. I want to blow up the mech.
Okay. This mech is...
I think that mech is guarding it. I think
I know.
that... Yeah, so... But it's doing a route. It's doing a patrol route. If we can get it when it's far enough away, we might be able to sneak in, grab the stuff, and get out without bothering it.
I think there's more salvage in that mech than there is in that cargo.
So you're saying attack the
I
mech.
want to put jump jets on one of you guys and see what happens.
Well, we can take both.
Yeah. I have said that you can't put it on a large, so you can't get the Atlas popping off here, there, and everywhere. It will fit on a light or a medium, though.
Okay. I relay all the info, obviously. I have an option which I was thinking of, but if you guys want to blow the mech up, it's a waste of time anyway. But I was going to put a tracker on it, so we knew its location at all times, and so we could guarantee that it would never be near us when we were doing stuff there.
Yeah,
Ooh.
sounds like a plan.
We could take it elsewhere if you wanted to go and get the salvage.
I want to get the salvage, but if we're going to blow up the mech, then we may as well get both. So
Well, I'm just thinking if things go badly,
I'm not doing
you
the
can
same
always
thing
just
I
take
did
it
a minute
and
ago, where I go in and get the salvage while you guys bombard the area. I'm not doing
It
that.
worked.
Again. Yeah, but that's not happening a second time.
It worked. I will point out.
We will lose if any of the other areas has actual mechs with human pilots. We will lose the edge of surprise.
I think
Yeah,
that
there is
whatever
that.
I think this mech is probably programmed to alert if an attack happens or anything like that.
Well, what if we wait until it's at the extreme of this area, so it's at the nearest we can get him to the foot of the hills that we're at before we open fire on it? It's got a regular patrol route. We can just pick its best point.
So that's why I was going to put the tracker on it, so we always know exactly where it is.
Yeah, put the tracker on it so we know exactly where it is at all times, and then maybe we can sneak in when it's not looking.
Like, I still want to blow it up. We could just watch it. It's up to you.
Well,
If you're going to blow it up, let's just go and blow it up, because, like, if we can't blow it up without alerting the rest of them anyway, we're going to have to deal with them when they turn up. So let's just get it out of the way and go and do it now.
I think there's definitely more money in taking this thing apart.
I am definitely at the point where I don't want to be spending energy points on stuff you're going to blow up anyway.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. Where's everyone at?
You're all in this rocky outcropping, kind of, doing the nefarious plotting and rubbing of palms. So you're just all in the same place. You're basically where the C3 arrow is on the map.
Right, Unka, what's your judgment decision? Leading?
yeah, I say we go for it. We get within range and we just take out the mech first, and then we go for the salvage.
Like, I can disable one part of it, and I think this might be a heavy mech, so it's either pick a weapon or we stop it moving.
Well, I'd say stop the movement. If you can stop the movement, you might get it so it's not aligned with us, so he couldn't shoot at us.
That's what I'm thinking.
But do you want me and Hermit to basically get into the city, find a building, and get ready to snipe from it?
Well, you could snipe from the ridge in theory. You've got far weapons, haven't you?
No, they're long range. I don't know. about
I have
Hermit's.
far. I have far.
Hermit has far.
Yeah, Hermit's got a rail cannon, so like we just keep him on the ridge with a rail cannon.
Yeah,
the
yeah, we
railgun
keep
goes
him on the
through
ridge. And
buildings.
as long as he can see it, he can shoot it, right?
Hang on, I
Basically.
need to tell off Nightbot. I gave Leyline the ability to put the so what's it done this? 22 messages were deleted by the moderator. Nightbot has just picked on Leyline. Bad Nightbot, bad. It's never done that before.
Can we time out Nightbot?
Well, I've just turned Leyline into a mod, so hopefully that will help. I made them a VIP as well. Okay, there we go. Nightbot will now ignore. Will stop bullying you, Leyline. Apparently, we're having problems with bots both in game and out. There we go. So there's the Discord link for the Salvage Union Discord. Salvage Union Discord, which I also need to use because I'm not actually in that yet. So, plan. What is it?
Okay.
Because we're going to need to take a 10-minute break in a minute.
Maybe we should take a 10-minute break and plan, and then come
all
back.
right.
You know what? That's probably a really good idea. So we are going to go and take that break. And so in the meantime, You can join the Salvage Union Discord and chat to people about the various builds and things like that. If you want to get the PDF version of this book and also support Leyline Press, the link is in the the last link that was posted by Helen, Anti-Jinxed, will take you to the Kickstarter. Go check it out. And when we get back, these guys are going to try and try to snipe out a giant mech. Or they're going to take 10 minutes to rethink their life choices and go to a completely different sector. We'll find out. Anyway, we will see you guys in 10 minutes' time. and welcome back. And hello to everybody in our chat. Now we are suitably refreshed, and the players have now managed to come up with a unanimous and masterful plan as to the next actions. No. Okay, so
We're basically gonna try and avoid civilian casualties. Try not to level any buildings, but at the same time, there's gonna be some mess.
you have been told this is a largely abandoned town, as much as everything is in the wasteland. There may be some people who are just choosing to live here, but we will see.
We'll avoid them.
So,
That's a choice we will take away from.
As long as we don't die, we're fine.
Yeah.
So you can see, Catfish, Dave, that the mech is continuing on this patrol route. The patrol route doesn't seem to be centered on the cargo that dropped. It does seem to just be going through the streets patrolling.
Okay.
You can, if you wish, line yourself up along one of the main avenues. It's very kind of gridded, so like New York or Milton Keynes. So you can just look down a main thoroughfare, and depending on how this mech tries to evade, try to get a good initial shot off, I guess.
Yeah. I'd hit it with the tracker so we know where it is first.
The other option is
doing
I have an ability that lets me disable a system, so I could just take its legs out.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Take
Well,
out
if-
the motion.
That seems unfair, but I approve.
And well, if
Maybe do it
it
in a sweet
also
spot.
also if we're within long range, I can use my pinpoint target and take out its locomotion system.
Same.
Or we could both do it and make sure it's not moving.
Kill it with fire is the only way to be sure.
Well, yeah, one of you tries, and if it fails, you know who to pass the next initiative slot to, so, yeah.
There you go.
And if you do it where I can see it, I can shoot my railgun.
Yeah, just hit
Yeah.
it everywhere.
I'm not going to use my antimatter gun because you guys want to salvage this thing, and
Right.
knowing my luck, that's when I will get the 20.
And completely obliterate it, yeah.
It's not antimatter, it's anti-material. I always make the same thing. So, like, you can put a big hole in it, but it's not going to, like, black hole it.
And Leyline confirmed in chat that it is antimatter.
Ooh.
Yeah, you hit this thing on a 20, it go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yes, the rules as written, the target is entirely destroyed. So, yeah, miniature black hole
What?
sucks it through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't
no,
know
it's
that part.
genuinely.
Apologise.
It's
And this is
genuinely
a
an
handheld
antimatter rifle.
weapon.
Well, look at the picture. Look at the picture. It's not exactly handheld, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
don't-
it's like carrying a girder, but it's a girder that you fire with your hands. So,
Yeah. Don't put anything in front of it that you don't want to destroy.
I mean, if shit goes south, obviously use the weapon.
Repeatedly.
Yeah. Okay. So
Based on that, then, well, the other guys are setting up. I'm going to go and park in a building, get to the second, third floor, whatever, and get a beeline on the Mechs patrol route for the contingency of shit hit the fan. But other than that, I'm just going to be there ready to fire if things go bad.
Okay, sure. So these buildings are big enough that you can go into the second, third floor. In most places, you wouldn't be able to do in this mech, in the light mech. You can here because in some of these factories, the height is for a mech, a loading mech, to go up and place a giant hopper into it. So I would say that you can absolutely
I mean, my
do this.
intention was actually to just park it out of sight and actually go up myself.
Oh, yourself?
Handheld. It's handheld anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go into a building, park up, and hell, you can go on the roof. You can go into like a small office. Absolutely, yep.
So
you're going to get out of your mech. Oof, love it, love it. Okay, yes, I will allow it because you've scanned and you kind of know where it is. You can do that without any risk. I'm going to say no roll.
Okay, well, I'm going to do that then, while the rest set up for what they're doing.
Okay. So the scouts has put themselves into a precarious position again. What are the rest of you doing?
I imagine I am doing what is most commonly known as being the bait.
Sure. Okay.
So is there a decent location where we can get a straight shot for Commodore?
Yeah, like I say, there's like a main thoroughfare because this is very gridded. There's just a main street. Bear in mind, this is where a lot of factories are, so wide vehicles should be able to go down each lane. So these are really wide streets, and
Okay.
so and what you see as part of its patrol route, it goes down that road a bit, and then goes around, and you're just waiting for it to come round again before you launch your attack. So,
Right, so
you don't necessarily have to be bait per se. You just have to wait for it to be at a certain point in its patrol route and then just open fire.
Oh no, I'm definitely trying to get its attention. I want it to be, if not aiming at me, at least looking at me when this thing gets hit by Commodore is the plan.
Sure. Yeah.
Just so if I miss and somehow Unca misses, it's still going to stand still with a bit of luck.
Okay. What I'll say is that you're going to be on the edge of X3, and so a block or so down is where Catfish has managed to find their sniper's nest. And you're just there, stood just off to the side of the main street, so you can just step around the corner and be in full view.
Okay, so I've got my if I cut this wire ability, able to work out exactly where to pinpoint a target and mech to disable one of the systems or modules. As an action, pick a system or module on a target mech with engaged range. The system becomes damaged. So I need to be in engaged range, so like I have to be...
Yeah. It's a cold
on this
shot
thing.
with a welding laser. Yeah, that is
Basically.
absolutely fine. Okay.
I want to be in a
Fantastic.
nearby building or kind of doing the classic behind the building with the laser there ready to go and then just kind of going...
Yeah. It's like, I'm the party rogue. Chunk, chunk, chunk. Yeah, with this
Precisely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Let's
just
do
gonna...
it.
I'm
Okay.
just going to take out the... Probably whatever... I'm guessing it's hydraulic lines to the legs or the servo lines to
Yeah,
the
let's
legs.
go with that. Yeah, that
So
sounds
it just
fun.
stops.
Yeah, I want the CGI of the hissing hoses going everywhere. So yeah, let's go with that. So you're in position, Scout's in position, and as I say, ordinarily I would be getting you to roll like crazy, but because Dave's tracking the bloody thing, you're able to go. Yep, let's just stay out of sensor range for it, and it is periodically scanning buildings and things like that and checking to see whether anybody's trying to get into them. But you've chosen some buildings that it doesn't appear to be interested in. So, Commodore and Socrates, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be paralleling Tom, and I'm going to be just going on the other side of the street.
Okay. So, I've got this lovely panoramic view of this long, wide boulevard, and then, with their backs pressed against buildings, two mechs, one of them with the two arms, with because you can attack with your arms as well, can't you? Kind of ready to do melee or pull out your autocannon. And on the other side, you've got the party mechanic rogue with a welding laser ready to stab it in the vitals, which I guess leaves only the large truck with the railgun. I presume that you're setting yourself up at a reasonably far distance where you can just shoot straight down the boulevard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep,
Peekaboo.
there we go. Nice and simple. Let's go into initiative then, and I presume that Commodore is going to be going first with this. The whole kickoff for this, I should imagine, is the railgun. Yep.
Well, I thought it was Tom who was going.
Mine was out of order. Like prior to initiative, like this is the opening thing is zip.
Yeah, the opening thing is you stop it in its tracks because it knows it's being attacked, and then Tom's going to step out after you shoot and go, look at me, basically.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So, boop,
Boop.
railgun.
Okay, I am going to ask for a d20 for this because obviously you're going to be firing into a built-up area. Don't forget to take your heat as well. 16. Ba-boom! It smashes into the heavy mech. Man, that railgun.
It's
Man,
so
that
cool.
railgun. Okay, sure. Yeah, it makes both the mech and me very sad. So, yeah. I better tick off a few of these. The railgun does what a railgun does and rips through the chassis, spraying components down the street. It also hits 2 large vehicles and a what seems to be workers' diner, which then folds in on itself.
A very non-apologetic. Oops.
Did I mention I really love the hauler? So
That was why I didn't shoot.
yeah, there's a bloody great big hole in it, and it notices you. It turns and starts walking in your direction. But the way Popcorn Initiative goes, you get to choose who goes next.
Let's say Tom goes next
Okay.
with the mech rogue.
So you're going to be stepping out, Tom, and moving into engaged distance, I'm assuming.
Before I do it, what, from just a visual, what has it got that I should be wary of?
So yeah, the thing you should be wary of is the gigantic laser on its shoulder. This thing is huge. It looks like it can rip out. It's not as big as the railgun. I mean, let's face it, it takes a lot to be bigger than a railgun. But this is a large mech laser system. And you have a feeling it wouldn't take more than maybe 2 shots to take out a small mech, maybe 3 to take out a medium.
The question is, do I want to take that or his legs out? Because him moving's not as big as a threat as him standing still and just blowing us to like Kingdom Come anyway. So
True.
No, I think I'm going to have to go for the laser just because I'm now panicking that he's going to stand still regardless of what I do. So taking his legs out is just largely pointless.
It's like, I'm a turret, look at me. Yeah, it's...
Welcome to the heavy.
Yeah.
I'm going to
absolutely.
use that ability instead on taking the... I'm not going to destroy it, to be very clear. I'm going to disable it. So it's a case of I'm just going to leisurely detach any lines connected to it.
Yeah. Yeah. You are thinking with a cold, hard mind of an engineer going, lasers need power, cut the power, no more laser. This laser is doing the whole kind of build up the kind of wom, 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 wom. And as they pointed out in the Drunken Storyteller last night, lasers don't make any noise apart from in a game they absolutely do. They go pew pew. But yes, they certainly make a sound when they're winding up. The coolant system is kind of out the side. There's a huge amount that's going to happen, and there seems to be this kind of this kind of charging sound as the edge of the laser is starting to get brighter and brighter. White laser, not red laser. We're not going to go Transformers on this. So you're going to use your ability if I cut this wire.
Yeah, I'm just going to...
Which I think is a literal what you're going to do in this case.
Yeah, basically just cut the coolant lines, cut the electric lines, and just disable it so it just winds back down instead of blowing up.
Okay. That system becomes damaged. Obviously, this is not a guaranteed success because you're going in to engage, so I will require a D20.
Of course.
Why do I feel this is going to turn it into a bomb?
Probably.
Don't give him ideas.
A
Failed.
9. It's a fail. So did you want to push yourself? In this case, it would be pushing the mech.
Yeah, I definitely do, because I reckon it's my my kudos as an engineer in this case.
Yep. What heat does that bring you up to?
That'd be the first 2.
Okay, so you're only up to 2. So re-roll that D20 first for the effect.
Sorry, 1 second.
17. Perfect.
Better.
Now that is definitely a success. Now give me another D20.
Here's where it goes wrong.
And you don't want a 1 or a 2.
Don't jinx it.
I don't have to jinx it.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine.
There you go.
You push it. You show the scout how to push your mech. Yeah, and
Push it real good.
sorry, not the scout. The soldier how to push your mech. As you know, everybody can hear the winding up of these engines that power your arms. and your legs as there's this, and you charge forward, and with kind of like a lightsaber slash, I'm going to go a little bit anime here, the light coming out of the laser just dies. This mech now is just a very large mech. It no longer has the devastating laser.
Fair enough. I'm going to pass it to, actually. Is Catfish waiting to take a shot, or is Catfish overwatched it?
I'm waiting in case things go wrong, basically. So I'm not.
Okay, I'll pass it. I'll pass to Unka then for now.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to use 3 energy points to bring out my pinpoint targeter, which lets me, when I activate the system, to choose a specific system or module on the mech or appendage on the creature. Roll to hit is normal. If you hit that system, module, or appendage is destroyed, you also deal damage as normal.
Okay. Yep, go for it.
So I am going to go with a missile pod, and I am going to target his locomotion system.
Fantastic. Give me a roll.
There we
17
go.
absolutely hits. So yeah, there's nothing extra needs to do there. You just aim for basically the crotch of this thing, going, yeah, that's where all the pivots are, and pinpoint targeting right into what is kind of a ball socket, I guess, at the hinge where both of the legs are used. And in, as I said, this was inspired by Ed 209. In Ed 209, typical Grace, the legs go everywhere and it ends up kind of splayed across the floor. No longer able to hit because it's a melee attack was using its legs, so this thing is just thrashing on the floor now. The legs move a little bit, they kind of twitch, but they can't be used to get back up or cause attacks. So you've just got this writhing robot on the floor that after a while just ends up powering down.
Awesome.
Nice.
You sunk my battleship.
Aw.
It could hack you and everything. It had anti-hacking. None of you played a hacker. Fine.
If we're happy that that's down, then should we do the quick smash and grab of grabbing the afterburners, etc.?
Yeah,
What? One boss against a team? That's a rookie mistake, mate.
Who said this was the boss?
yeah, this might not be the boss.
This isn't a box. This was-
Battleship, then.
So, once it powers down, there was going to be 2 chassis points and the chance of getting the laser. You can only get a part from the laser now. So this was the large laser it had, the large phase array laser, and that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If anybody uses an energy point, they can roll, or I'm going to go outside a book, roll a d6, and you'll get anything from that list, being that you did cut through it.
Can I not in any way attempt to repair it using one of my skills and keep it as the laser?
Actually, you cut it. Yeah, go on, give me a d20.
Yeah, like it was very specific on trying to keep it stubborn.
And you did a really high surgical strike and pushed yourself for it. Go on, I'll allow
Cat. Rocky, get down.
that. Cat will cat.
Yeah.
Oh, and Artul, thank you very much for your sub. Big thank you for that. Don't forget to join us on our Discord, which you'll find in the channel notes.
Did you say that I need to roll for this one, or is this a field repair to repair it and salvage?
Whatever your field repair says.
Spend 10 minutes to repair a damaged system or module on a Mac.
Well, the only danger that's around here has been cancelled, and this is what you're here for, so yeah, take your 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 ability points then to repair and remove. So
Yep.
would it be 2 ability points and 1 energy?
I don't think you have 2 ability points left, because you did a field repair on Unka. You did.
Yeah.
Oh no, you were using
I
energy
used energy
points
for that one.
I'm talking out my butt. I need to
This
keep.
one's
I need
energy
to
as
keep
well.
reading the little bold script at the bottom of this, which says you can use energy points if you're in the mech you're supposed to be in. Yeah, in that case, go for it. Yeah, you. Let's see, for the field repair, 10 minutes. It gets repaired.
Yeah. I'm using
You did the damage in the
energy as
first
well,
place, so you knew what you did. Yeah, you know what? I will allow it. I will allow it to extract the laser as an entire unit from there.
Yes.
I will need you to do a D20.
Of course.
And if you don't get a certain level of success, you'll only get a part from it.
Come on.
Oh,
Someone's pushing himself. Here we go.
Do it.
Can this
is
be
gonna
pushed?
bad.
Yes, you can push. You can take another 2 heat.
I can't not. So
Yeah.
You can't do
like
any
the only
worse.
thing that I've wanted so far.
That's what
is to
reactor
lose it.
overload fans like to hear.
Make the bad decisions.
A 6. Okay, so a 6 is a failure. No, sorry, it's a tough choice. Tough choice is going to be that you only get a part from it. So roll me a d6. Exclamation
Need
point
to-
d6.
Just need to not forget my other heat because I always forget.
Yeah, we'll do your heat roll in a minute.
Yes.
So yeah, if you do exclamation point d6, Tom, let's see what you get. You got the high heat. You got the high heat ceramics, so that's fine. Yeah, no, 1 in this case is just what you get on that list. So
Okay.
so for your energy point for the salvage, you don't get the whole laser, unfortunately. As you're trying to extract it out of the mech, there was some sort of fail-safe inside there, and you just see a bunch of it just all fusing. And by the end of it, the only thing that's left is, of course, the high heat ceramics, which don't
Decent.
end up fusing. They are still a very, very good scrap. I think they're like a tier 3 or something. Let's have a quick look.
Good for energy weapons.
Tier 3, Tech 3. So this is actually worth 3 salvage points. So you can trade them in for more of a lesser type of salvage if you need to. So that's pretty good going. So put into one of your slots high heat ceramics.
Or do you want me to move in?
I'm going to bring it to you, but I'll be carrying it for now.
Yeah. And because I don't want to forget, give me a d20 now.
Here we go.
And you want more than a 4. 19.
That's more than a
That is
4.
nice.
That's slightly
Fine.
more than 4.
Fine. And this is one of the ones you can't push on. So you can't push on a reactor overload table. At least I don't think you can. It seems a little cheaty to do that. Yes, you get your high heat ceramics. That's pretty good. Also, there's 2 salvageable parts of chassis here. Now, chassis points take up 1 of your salvage slots for each one. And if you get 5 of them, you can make a light mech. If you get 10 of them, you can make a medium mech. If you get 15, you can make a large mech. Granted, it's just the chassis. But this is how you get extra mechs in the game. So you can have on your Union Crawler, over a campaign, you can have backup mechs if your mech gets destroyed. So,
I definitely want to take them. It's just whether I'm taking them
well,
or whether anyone else can.
if
carry
you're
it.
low on energy points and you have been using them, you can ask somebody else to use their energy points instead.
I think I'm down to 4 energy at this point.
Yeah, it sounds like you need somebody else to do it. So
Could someone else
who's
remove
flush
the top?
at the moment?
I got 6 energy points left.
I still have all of them. 10.
Sounds
I
like the
was-
hauler can pick both of these up with their loading arm, and you'll be down to 8. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna do
So,
To save.
what's that?
I was going to say, just to save time, I was planning on scanning the next zone while you guys were salvaging.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I will say that this is the 2 10-minute. You do
Yeah.
that in 10 minutes, and the 2 things overlap.
So that's what. So basically, I won't be salvaging.
Okay. So Hermit loads 2 of your cargo slots with chassis. Okay. So you're 2 out of 5 to getting a light mech.
Yeah.
So
Right.
now you've got meat and you've got chassis, right?
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
So far, so good. The meat, by the way, is probably not going to be great in this heat, but yeah, no, the rest of it should be fine. Yeah.
It'll cook up. They won't notice.
Just don't serve it rare.
Yeah, plenty of salt.
Yeah.
Super
yourself.
well done. Yeah. Now you're cooking with uranium. So, Dave, you said you were scanning another
Well,
sector.
I think we're going to probably move on to the hopper.
Well, the
manta
hoppers-
ray thing.
Yeah, but weren't we going to get the
The jump
crates
jets
that
are in this
fell off
area.
first?
Yeah, so the jump jets
Yeah,
are still
yeah.
to be salvaged in this area, but
Yeah, I get that.
Dave was taking the 10 minutes that you guys had to
Yes,
do the
salvage
repair
it.
to do this. X4 and X2 are nearby. So what I will say is that you do get some view of X4
All right. Okay.
before you scan. Yeah, it's just that you're close enough now. You can kind of see the next district from here.
Yeah.
The district of X4 is a rather strange one, and it was one that you weren't quite sure of when you were approaching here. But now it's confirmed that this is weird and out of place in a town. It's a large area of the city, and you can see one or two small utility buildings, which are like kind of, I guess, like maintenance sheds and the occasional kind of power what am I trying to say?
Power station.
Yeah, little power stations.
Transfer station.
That power transfer stations, things like that. But there's no buildings here that you see that people would probably work in on a day-to-day basis. They kind of go there, do something, and then leave. And the rest of the area is made up of strange metal platforms. You're reminded of these kind of large dishes that take up like a large area. But this isn't a dish. It all seems to be very slightly raised. And they're all different, strange angled metal panels pointing to the sky. I will also give you that as you're looking in that direction, your scanning module is going crazy. This is where the flux came from.
Ah.
Right.
And yes, I went there. I named this the flux capacitor.
Well, I'm not going to get much from scanning that then, I don't think, because it's interference by the looks of it. I still want to scan where the grav ray thing went down. So
where the manta ray went down.
Yeah,
Yep.
where the manta ray went down.
Absolutely. So give me
X2, right?
give me your D20 and we'll see how many questions you get.
Ooh, good one.
Hey.
17. You
Really
get
good.
your 3 questions again. So what are your questions?
Is there another salvage team in the area?
There is not.
Oh, okay. Scan the manta ray.
The manta ray has crashed. However, you do see kind of switching your scanning to kind of detecting circuitry and electrical flow. You do see that there's like a residual effect that's gone off, but it seems to be completely inoperable. You do know that grav plates, one of the reasons why none of you lot have grav plates, is that grav plates are made out of a light ceramic that resonate. He says, putting some Deus Ex Machina into this. When a grav ship crashes, one of the things that gets totaled, may even be by design, is the grav plates themselves, which is why nobody's ever had a second-hand one.
So, based on that, do I think there's anything salvageable there?
Yeah, from here, I don't know why I'm looking at the beta guide. From here, the things that you can see that are most salvageable are the arms that take off the cargo off the trains. They seem to be in pretty good nick. In fact, they all seem to be in standby mode. And they're fairly simple. And what you could make out of them is a rigging arm. So any of you who hasn't got a rigging arm on your mech, you could probably engineer one. Or the parts that come from it. And because they're fairly basic, a rigging arm will have a... If I switch back to the other screen, it says here, scrap metals, wiring loom, simple mechanism, and circuitry. So some good finds in there. Fairly common finds, but, you know, pretty much bread and butter stuff that you'll need. Then there's anything that might be in the manta ray itself.
Right. So, ask TripAdvisor if there's anything else of interest in the area.
Fuck you, Dave.
Yes, is there a roller coaster, some arcades?
Yeah, go on. You do get that there is a very subtle radio or beacon. You're not quite sure which. The technology is well above the technology that you're using. and it seems to be a little off the manta ray, so it could be indicative of a survivor.
Survivor.
Yeah.
Well,
Need
we
to
can't
fix
have
that.
that, can we?
Okay, yeah. So, relay back to the team. Manta Ray doesn't seem intact and salvageable, but its contents maybe. Might get some scrap from it. There is a survivor possibly out and about. I picked up a weak beacon, but no
It's
other.
not so much weak as subtle.
subtle.
Yeah.
Okay. But
It's
no
the
other.
kind of beacon that's very good at hiding in background noise.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any other salvage team in the area.
I'm down.
Yeah. I'd say
All right.
we need to act quickly there.
All right. I'm going to go for salvaging the pods that fell off.
So the pod that's in this area is the jump jets, and that's fairly simple. The cargo container took the brunt of the fall. If you want to go up, spend 1 energy point. You can put a pair of jump jets, set of jump jets onto a cargo slot.
Or do we
Well,
bring
yeah,
them to
look at it.
Commodore?
The way I'm looking at this is we're getting parts to build a mech, a light mech. We've got a rig arm, jump jets, and I can't remember what the other potential thing was.
You're
We've
kind
got
of
ceramics
building
and
a
building a heat
thief,
weapon.
isn't it? You know, can jump in,
Yeah.
snatch something, and get out. You know. Interestingly, this is something that I don't think everybody knew in the one that I watched last night, so I typed it in the chat. If you have arms, they count as cargo slots, but they count as temporary cargo slots until you put things down. So, for example, Unka's piloting the Brawler. The Brawler has 2 arms. You can carry 2 cargo, but if you do anything, you have to drop them. It doesn't take an energy point to pick them back up again. That's mostly the extraction process.
All right.
that-
Well, I'll
takes the
spend the extraction. I'll salvage that, and
Yep.
I will bring it to the hauler. How's that?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can move cargo between you all. Yeah, I like the idea, Helen. So she's saying new mech design, the Snatch. Jumps in, grabs something, and runs the fuck away. I like the idea. As long as it's good cargo, rather than coming away and going, I got some wires. You know, that's where you want to steal the active meld nanites, which was in this, but he decided not to go down the difficult route. So,
Wonder why.
Yeah, well, you told us that they'd eat our mechs, so it seemed like a bad idea.
they absolutely would have ate your mechs. I'm just saying there would have been a cool reward at the end of it
That's like, well, you,
for those who
chose,
survived. Yeah.
chose not to start smoking. Well, no, there was a warning on the label.
So what gets added to my cargo?
So you now have jump jets placed in your flatbed.
Yeah, but I can't use them.
No,
I'm heavy.
they are in your cargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not attached to you. Somebody's going to need to bolt it onto a mech at some point. They're just the unit has been placed so that you can carry it.
So is it just me and Tom that can
Okay.
use them?
Unka's a medium mech as well.
Oh, I thought Uncle was a heavy mech. Oh,
No.
No,
the only
no,
heavy.
medium.
Yeah, the only heavy is the Atlas.
Right, okay.
Now, was there also fuel with those or no?
They all have fuel. That no one counts fuel in this.
Okay.
I have a barrel of fuel.
I put fuel as as one of the parts
Reward.
because it was fun.
Okay.
Well, we've now got fuel and heat-proof ceramics, so we're like that far from making a flamethrower.
There's no flamethrowers in this
No,
game,
see, I
but
didn't-
yet.
Yet.
But oh my
I
god,
didn't-
I want to start playing to find out what would be a well-balanced flamethrower. It's got to
I
do
did-
heat damage as well as as anything.
All right.
I didn't
Force it
go
overheat.
flamethrower. I immediately went to some kind of orbital shuttle.
Well, in Manta, you can have heat-based weapons which do just that. Your mech starts to overheat, and you've got to be hitting all your cooling systems rather than attacking people. So it's a kind of a control weapon. In this case, it would be a case of maybe give the enemy some heat, and then the enemy has to roll basically the overload table and roll above their heat. I think that would be a good weapon and not too broken either. We'll have to
It'd
play
be good
with
for
that.
dealing with armored targets.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
if you know you can't get through the armor, you just roast the driver instead.
yeah. Just start roasting the servos and thing, and just let the reactor do the job on the inside. So yeah. Okay. So you've pretty much cleared out X3. You know what is and isn't there in X2. What you don't have in X2 is a cargo container. So you've got 35 minutes left to grab as much as you want before narratively you will be needing to get out of this. So what would you like to do?
I would like to move on to the grab thing and see what it has and deal with this survivor, because this survivor could potentially be calling in another team that could get in the way of a salvaging.
Also, that beacon, if it's running on low frequency, sounds like it could be quite useful. Enough frequency beacon.
I've just seen Leyline's description of the Inferno missiles that they've come up with. I like the ideas of those.
Yes.
Increase heat on a mech and deal two times damage to anything that's got flesh. Nice.
I'm
Nice.
If you come up with a flamethrower, I will happily be there.
You and I need to talk Lancer as well, because you can't have enough mech games. You just can't. Anyway, we're talking about Salvage Union today. So, I want to see a flamethrower type mech in this as well, because there's always a flamethrower mech. But I think we're well on our way to making a thief mech as well. So maybe we can design that and feed it back to Leyline as well. Are you going to X2?
I'm down if everyone else.
I mean, I think that's the next place to go. But what do you guys think? There's no one in there. I think we can go and get what we can.
And we've already got everything we've got here, right? So
okay. It could be a red herring, could be a time waster, but yeah, sure.
It could be, but it's a safe red herring.
Yeah, X4 sounds
only our dice can screw us over here now, guys.
Yeah, you're all right.
X4 sounds a different kind of dangerous.
All right, Catfish, are you doing Overwatch again, or what are you doing?
Are we running low on cargo space? Because I can do cargo if you need me to, but if not, then yeah, I'll keep an eye out for things.
I've got 3 slots.
It seems sensible.
Left.
It does seem sensible that I keep an eye out, because if I see anything coming in, I can track it and stuff. But
well, let's
put a hole in it.
Let's give you the run into X2, and then you can start making some more decisions. And Helen, yes, you backed out of this one. Thank you very much. So you're definitely in the next playtest, and the next playtest, it might be online. I'm getting a lot of good vibes for it being online, and there's lots of cool art that we can throw up as well. But we may do some offline games as well, especially if people end up being stranded over Christmas time. I'm very happy to run some offline games from wherever I'll be. So, especially considering I can't go to Sweden for New Year's now because, I was about to say ridiculous COVID measures, not ridiculous COVID measures. I absolutely support them, but there's so many COVID measures that we've just bumped my flight, so I won't be going to Sweden. Yep. So I will be here around New Year. So we, if anybody is bored around that time, maybe I can run some more Salvage Union. So we get into Section X2. The train station is clearly the most impressive site in the town, as I've mentioned. Mostly a logistics station, so it kind of goes from one mag rail split into many. And so you can imagine lots of these big kind of bullet train style things coming in, cargo being lifted off and placed back on very quickly, very efficiently in a way that only gigantic robotic arms can do. It must have been really impressive in its heyday, but now it's completely dead. I mean, this is Ghost Town. It's in disrepair, as I say, but the loading arms look salvageable. You can't see a ripple in the distance where meld nanites are hugging onto the mag rail before it gets to the junction. And you have a feeling, looking at how suddenly it stops, that maybe it's the flux that stops them getting any further. Maybe it's responsible for this entire anomaly of it sticking to the rail. Maybe it's a way that it can avoid getting discombobulated. A plume of smoke points you to the fallen Manta vessel, and crashed it does look like a manta ray has just flopped onto some rocks. Would you like to approach it?
I just want to mention to my esteemed colleagues, if these nanites can't get any closer, and apparently there is a reward for destroying them, why don't we just hit them from here where they can't get us?
There's not a reward for destroying them. There's a reward.
I mean, using them.
There's a reward for salvaging from them.
That's what I mean. If we were to just sit and
bomb them.
Yeah, for want of a better description, just orbital bombard them.
Well, maybe that's the route we'll go home with.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say that's a decision. You have cleared a route that you can go back completely safely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sure,
I mean,
but that's a life
look.
choice. Yeah.
Look, cards on the table. I like my mech, so I will not be taking point on that route.
Darn.
I'm thinking of the
Counter-argument to
people.
You could bombard the nanites, but how do you know you've got them all?
You
That's
don't.
the thing that's why I didn't want to go down it in the first place. It's like, yeah, we could. So it's like you could fight them. We're in a mech. They're like microscopic. How do we even know where they are?
Explosives. You don't have to know where they are.
You just have to scan for them, right?
So I have no energy by the time we get there. Yeah.
Yep. I think we were going after the pilot first, weren't we?
I think
Yeah.
that's sensible.
Yeah.
I think going for him first is the plan. And we'll come back to the manta ray.
I'm trying to see if I had the. Why am I even doing this? I have the people here. Leyline, if you've got a link to the picture of the nanites, the meld nanites, I know that the artists themselves put the cute little picture of the meld cluster. Please feel free to put it into the chat. So, what's the plan?
Is this similar to the what they called in SG1?
There is a thank you. There we go. There's the meld nanoids there. They are. Sorry, it's not nanites. It's nanoid. Is this one? They are nanites, but they create nanoids, and they can go to bigger clusters as well. So they end up creating the replicators in SG1. There's a definite vibe.
So basically, it doesn't matter how hard we hit these things; they're just gonna rebuild anyway.
They don't make it as difficult as that, but let's just say they've got some nifty tricks. Put it that way.
Yeah,
you have to work
like
to get that tier 3 scrap from them. Yeah,
kind of looks like that tick. You know, it bites you and infects you, and then your whole system's gone.
Yeah.
And then your reactor blows up.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going for the Manta.
Okay.
We're going for the pilot.
We don't know there's a pilot yet. It may just be
Dave
a
scanned it.
distress buoy.
Well, no, we don't know it's a pilot. We know it's a survivor. It could be. Could have been a crew member, but we assume.
Maybe.
It might not even be. It could just be some hapless passerby who nearly got a manta ray dropped.
Yeah, who just picked up a glowing thing and went, "Hey, this one's beeping." Yeah. I've got to remember that for next time.
Do we see any weapons on this other than the arms?
No, there's no weapons on the manta ray. It's a lifting craft. I just pictured this beautiful kind of manta shape where it goes down and kind of curls around a cargo pod and lifts it up with the grav plates. That's it.
Does it have any kind of propulsion outside the grav plates?
No, grav plates was the only thing that was there, and all the grav plates are quite clearly fucked. So as you approach it, in an open comm channel, you hear, "This is Pilot Adorno of the loading vessel Carter. Move away or be destroyed." As you look to see where she is, she's standing on the broken wing of the Manta and is pointing a bazooka-style laser weapon at you. But she is struggling to stand with a clearly broken leg. And it's an open comm channel. You can speak to her if you like. She's barely standing.
I have no qualms about immediately firing on her.
Oh, shit.
Before you
what the fuck's that? Boom!
Before you do that, I think we go with we have an antimatter rifle trained on your position. Stand down.
Equally, I have the ability to heal your wounds should you decide you want to live.
Oh, come in and strong. Come in and strong.
Pretty
I
good
don't think
argument.
you need to roll. I think she needs to roll. I'm going to get her to roll, actually. Leyline, can you give me exclamation point D20, please? And we will see what Adorna's going to do.
Just to add, by the way, on our side, she doesn't know this, but I've got a shield that can defend whoever she fires at. So just be aware, if she does take the shot, it might get reflected back at her.
And I have armor plating, so I can just remove that and get no damage.
I can just dodge. So
There's not a lot of bite to this
wasn't
bag.
there.
Leyline might have stepped away, so I'm going to go and do it instead. 17. Okay. Okay. So that means that she keeps it together to a certain extent. That doesn't necessarily mean she attacks. It means that she's not going to do anything rash. Yeah. Okay. She touches her headset again, keeping her lock on, and goes, "You don't seem like the usual kind of raiders. The ship's screwed anyway. By the looks of it, my main vessel's gone. Apparently they thought I was dead. Which means, I suppose you're my best way out. How do I know I can trust you?"
We have no skin in the game. We just want salvage. If you want to come with us, we're not going to kill someone for the sake of killing us.
Not only that, perhaps you might want to join us in raiding.
Yeah, we're here to pick up salvage and take it back to town. You can be salvage too if you want.
You're nothing like what the induction videos say you are. Okay.
Training never really covers reality.
Well, I'm no idiot, but I thought they'd have at least a grain of truth. At which point she collapses onto the wing of the Manta and says, "So somebody said something about healing?" And she puts the kind of bazooka down by the side. "Yeah, go on. I could do with some of that."
I accidentally pulled the trigger on the antimatter rifle. No, just
Healing? Yes, it's called euthanasia. Here we go. Bang.
Just the way the dice have been going. Oops.
All right.
One painkiller coming right up.
All right, Socrates, go in.
Yeah.
You won't
I'm
feel
gonna
a
go
thing.
in and I'm gonna hop out of my brawler and apply the healing bio foam,
Okay.
which will cost me 1 AP.
Sure. When you spray it on her leg, she it doesn't magically heal the whole leg, but what it does is it stabilizes, and she goes, "Oh no, I didn't realize you had any of this." Okay. Right. They think I'm dead. I'm sure they would have come back for me if they thought I was alive. This doesn't seem to be working as well as it could do, and she holds up the beacon that the catfish saw it out. Well, I don't suppose we're getting any of this lot back. Here. And she takes out what seems like a little compad thing and says, "It'll track the remaining cargo." And gives it to you. She goes, "In return, if I'm in any place to barter, you seem like the reasonable kind. That's part payment for the healing on my leg. Take me with you and let me go back to your whatever base to heal up. And if I can travel with you some way away from this town, then hopefully this should work."
Done.
Okay. So basically, we get a passenger.
Yep. I'm gonna carry her over to the holler and put her up as if she's cargo.
Yeah, sure. The hauler is a mobile
Up in the
base.
back.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
So, she sets up in what I'm sure there's a few deck chairs and things like that in the hauler. There
Yeah,
must
there
be.
is.
So yeah, she she sets herself up there, and she says, "Well, there aren't many shots in this," and she picks up the bazooka. But if you do get attacked, I can be a little bit of extra help at least. You do notice that she's got a beautiful focused laser pistol at her hip, which would probably only do like 1 point of damage on a mech, but
Still.
yeah, she seems to be military bearing. I give that for free to Unka. The second that you look at her, you go, yeah, she's served. You don't know where she served, but she's served.
Cool.
Say, if they come that close, and I tap the revolver on my hip, we'll stand together.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
looks like I've had a lucky day. I've been picked up by some reasonable sorts. Do me a favour, will you? All you need to do is a focused blast, and she points to Unka. because you've got a gun that doesn't require energy points. And she goes, focus blast there should finish the Manta off. All of the insides have been fused anyway. It's part of the protocol. It's useless. It's just scrap metal.
All right. Well, why don't we send our engineer in first to salvage the arms off that thing?
I think the arms are separate.
Oh, the arms are part of the train station. You can do that separately, no problem. Yeah.
All right. So there's nothing more to salvage here than just chassis or something?
No, the Manta isn't a mech, so it hasn't got any chassis points. You could probably take maybe 2 points of scrap metal if you wanted to, but there are better pickings out there.
Yeah, basically, there was potentially some cargo, but that was it. There was nothing in the actual raid that looked good.
Adorna turns around to you and says, I didn't get a chance to pick up the cargo. Whatever the field is around here just completely took up my grav plates. I killed 2 of my crew members, which is why I want you to set the Manta on fire. It's the closest that we'll be able to give them, all
right, well,
pilots.
I'll get out the assault rifle and I'll just shoot wherever she told me to shoot.
Yeah.
After backing off a reasonable distance.
This is not a combat vessel. In combat, the best thing it can do is just go very, very fast and get out of there. And so you fire, and most of this thing is aluminum anyway. I'll use the American pronunciation, Funker. And it goes up. Aluminum burns really well. So it goes up, and that'll be burning for a while.
So have we got like a transponder that's showing any other crates? Or is this...
she's giving you the locations of all the other crates and what they are.
Oh,
so
very nice.
One of the transponders points to Commodore's rig and says jump jets.
But that's awkward.
The logistics yard that is X1. I bring up the map again. X1 has a grav sled in it. So this is not a part you attach to the mech. It's something that any mech can pull, as long as it's got an arm. It can pull this along, and it carries 4 units of cargo, but it only has 4 structure points. So this thing, and because it was in the cargo container, the grav plates do work on this one, but they're not very powerful. Basically, you've got Tensor's floating disk in this system.
Okay. Can we turn it into roller skates and put one of our mechs on jump jets and roller skates?
Can I like have some kind of personal scanner to check this all correlating on the map or something? Or
yeah.
So
they all seem to be in the right area. In X5, you can see there is a cargo container that says armor plating.
Ooh, very nice.
And jump jets, armor plating, and the grav sled. I think that was everything.
Right.
Yeah.
First, before we go anywhere, I want to get to where the...
X6 in the residential district that you can see on the map. It says monomolecular blade.
No.
Are you keeping that one quiet?
And then in X4, which is the big panels where the flux is strongest, a deep survey scanner.
Oh, damn, I want that.
Well, why don't we just go in a row? We can hit 1, 6, 5, and then 4, and then we're headed back towards our exit.
Five things, Si. Is that right?
So
jump jets,
so there's one in each place apart from X2, basically. So
right, okay.
Grab sled, then the train station was the time waster, but you got to get the locations of everything else. 5 is armor plating, 6 is monomolecular blade, 4 is deep survey scanner, and what was it? 3, the factory complex you've already got, which is the jump jets.
Okay.
We have 15 minutes.
Yep, you've got 15 minutes. Loot what you can.
All right, we got the arms still the next 2 that we could salvage if we wanted to, right?
Now that you know what's in the others, the arms
Probably
are
not.
small potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say we just
Kind
hit
of
654.
I want the survey scanner. Everybody knows that, right?
I called it first. I said dibs.
I want it in the team. I'll make the argument later that it needs to go on the scout.
Well, I'm thinking the blade, because the blade I can use with my arms, right?
Yes. It does say on the monomolecular blade, it requires an arm to wield
I mean, we may as well get the sled. We might as well get everything if we can do it.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah,
15, whatever. We got plenty of time.
it. Okay, you want to
Yeah.
speed run the rest of this?
No, we
That's
gotta
fine by
speed run the
me.
rest of it.
Yeah.
It's always nice to not have wasted content that you've written. So yeah.
So, okay. But obviously, can I just check? We're talking 15 minutes of
Real time.
real time. Yeah. So I'm going to take 10 minutes of game time to rip the beacon out of the jump jets. Because if we've got this frequency, someone else got it too.
Sure.
And
And Adorna will help you do it. Yeah. Where she goes,
okay.
oh yeah, people could follow us.
And
Pluck.
now we know what we're looking for. We're doing that on everything we pick up.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. Yeah, you've got someone who can show you how to do it. She does point out that only the corpse would be able to see it, but then you go, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want the corpse turning up and going, you've got our shit.
Well, let's just take the batteries out of it, because like we can then use this and attach it to somebody else if we don't like them, you know.
Chuck it in the back of the truck.
Okay. You wanted a speed run? Let's do it. So, where are you going first?
Excellent.
Are we scanning in advance or are we just running in, guys?
Oh, let's just run.
I say we realize that there's stuff coming in, like in game. We all just kind of go, right, weapons hot.
All right, pick a target. Let's go.
Let's
6.
go.
6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't remember what's what.
You go into the residential district. A dilapidated grid array of housing units stands before you. Human-sized silhouettes dart in between as you approach, and a vocal call answered in other buildings suggests a warning of your approach. You can see that basically an apartment building has been crushed by a large case that seems to be these. That seems to be the monomolecular blade. So, what would you like to do?
Head straight for it.
Head
Yeah,
straight forward.
I'm going to go straight for the cave.
Fantastic. Dave, give me a D20 roll, please.
Of course.
If these two are leading, I'm basically going to be behind, ready with the mortars. If someone fires on them, I'm going to fire back.
A
I'm
9.
going to stay back with my
I'm
real
pushing that. What is this on? Is this on Mech or me?
This has to be on mech.
So if I push it, it's heat, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm pushing it.
I didn't even see your first roll. It was short for
You
me.
got a 9.
9.
Thank you.
Which is tough choice.
There you go.
12, sure. So give me another D20, and I believe you've got 4 heat now. So roll above a
Let
4.
me just write that up.
Don't blow.
I used stress the first time.
Oh,
So
did you?
that's my
Oh.
first heat, yeah.
Okay, so roll above a 2.
Right. So let's try that. Because let's face it, the likelihood is still slim.
13.
Oh, there you go.
And,
There we
and
go.
there it was. I had the reactor overload table already. Not that I didn't believe in you, Dave. Because I believed in you.
I
But
didn't believe in the dice. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I've been keeping track of everything I spent, so yeah.
Yep. So yeah, you're pegging it along, and you realise that some of these human-sized silhouettes, which are in fact humans, have set up some sort of trap, and it's just a tripwire. It's giant cable tripwire that gets pulled up at the last minute. You are about to fall over it, and you push your servos in your legs to leap over it. And you can see humans just darting down the alley. A bunch of humans do throw from windows these kind of Molotov cocktails, but now that you're not prone on the floor, they're easy enough to dodge. Even the ones that hit you, because you're not prone and they're not throwing it into sensitive areas, it's just hitting armor panels, and you're able to just kind of pat it off with whatever arm that you have, or just whatever. Yeah. So the trap doesn't hit you, and now you know that there are some vandals nearby who seem to either be defending the territory or just trying to bring you down, so they have extra salvage to be able to use. is there anything you'd like to do about this, or are you just going to keep trying for?
I'm gonna go straight for the thing. I think
hear a
I'll head
whistle.
over there. Yeah, just straight over there. Start pulling this sword away.
Okay.
And
You hear a whistling noise.
Oh
don't bother
God!
me.
What's the whistling noise? Oh, you're going to mortar them.
If I, like I said, if I see anyone hit him, I fire on him.
But nobody's hit me yet.
Yeah, they hit you with fire bombs.
Yeah, they did throw firebombs.
Oh, right,
to be
okay.
fair. Sure.
Not hurt me though. They're not done it to me.
No, but I'd have
You don't
fired
get-
the second I see the fire, and I'd have been like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit, something's going down."
Yeah, you
fire.
saw these
hang
little
on.
pinpoints
Are
of
you-
light coming
are
out the
you
building,
bomb-
and then just
Are
I
you
was not
bombarding
firing for
me?
a reason.
Are you
No, not you.
bombarding me?
no.
It's
The
only an
building.
engagement range, so I'm aiming
Okay.
for the building where the tripwire pops up. So when I see you jump, I'm like, "Why is he doing acrobatics?" And then this fire, I'm like, "That's why he's doing acrobatics."
All of the
Well-
windows of this building just straight out into the street. The street's covered in this kind of glitter glass now. You have a feeling that anybody who's alive in there is not particularly in a fighting mood right now because they will probably
That'll do.
be shell-shocked.
That'll do.
Okay?
So
Um,
has he got the blade?
Yeah, Dave, you've managed to get to this cargo pod, and over the radio, Adorna says, "Here's the access code." And rather than having to pick this cargo pod apart, you just beep, 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 beep.
So does that mean I
And-
don't need to spend an action point?
You still need to do an energy point
thingy? Energy point.
to salvage anything. That's
Okay.
part of the game. So
I'll do
spend
that.
your energy point, but you don't need to do a D20 because Adorna's
Get
just
it.
given you basically a natural 15. And yeah, you pull out what is effectively Optimus Prime's blade.
I mean, this looks good on me, but I am going to pass it on to Unco.
Cool.
Okay. So yeah, you run you run back, and the vandals who attacked you seem to be disinclined to attack you anymore.
some reason.
For some reason, and you, whether it's because the last people who did it got shelled, or you're running back with a giant sword that can take out buildings. So you run back to Unka with this sword.
There you go.
Thank you.
Unka, this doesn't need to be installed either, so I can send you the details of this. But have I got it on here? Basically, it's 4 SP, and on a roll of 20, it destroys the target completely.
Okay.
There's some hesitation before I let go of that when he takes it.
Yep. So Unka has a sword. That's it. The vandals were defending themselves, but sure.
Not very well.
They thought they were being attacked, so they tried to take out this mech and didn't realise that that further down the street there was a small howitzer. So
Game. Should have done the research.
sure, that was X1 done. I could have padded out more, but we are doing a speed run. You've got 6 minutes left. Where else?
What was the left?
survey
The scanner.
We want the scanner.
Scanner's
the
the next
scanner.
four.
Oh, great. The scanner's an X4. Okay, so
Well, we got to go through X5 to get to X4. What's the
Just
next
go through the middle.
you can just go
X5
through
was
the
the
middle.
sled.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
why
want
I
to
made
make sure
it
we get the
hex.
scanner.
Yeah.
X1 was the sled. What's X5?
X5 is...
There's the extra cargo thing, right?
X5 is the armor plating,
Oh, the armor plating.
which is just a sacrificial part that you put on your mech. It allows you to ignore any one hit, so you
Yeah.
normally keep it for a big old hit.
I already have it.
Let's do this. Let's go and get the scanner.
Okay.
All right, let's go for the scanner.
So as you get into this large area of the city, as I mentioned before, small utility buildings, large metal platforms that just seem to be part of a great machine instead of anything else. You get to the edge of the district and your head starts to ache and your vision blurs very slightly. The cargo container that you're going for is in front of you. It's just like sat between two panels, very mildly dented. It seems to be fine. You have a look on the thing that Adorna gave you, and it says that it's a deep survey scanner. It's currently disassembled in the pack. So if you can imagine some of these equipment boxes where you open them up, there's foam and there's individual parts. That's what it is. So you would have to put it together, but as long as you are able to loot all of the bits in here, which will take an energy point each to get them out, you'll be able to put them together in like 10 minutes to have your own deep survey scanner.
Well, we just have to get all the bits, right? I mean,
Right. So
Yeah,
it's just
so-
basically pay 1 point each.
Yeah, so it requires 4 bits to be picked up. Each one takes 1 energy point to pick it up. And it would mean going into the field further. So at the moment, it's your vision is slightly blurred. Your head is aching a little bit. It does mean that when you go in here, you'll probably be quite discombobulated. That'll be the challenge.
Is this interfering with scanner and stuff like that?
Yeah, at this point, you're close enough that it's now interfering with your scanner. Your mech will work fine. And all the parts on your mech will work fine, but certain things like scanners and telemetry and stuff like that will be impeded.
Didn't one of these ships have like a long grappler or something?
One of the ships.
Yeah, I thought I had read that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Or
No,
one
that's
of
something
the
you
one
can
of the mechs
grapple,
that we can grapple at long range. I don't
Yeah.
think I saw one of those. No.
Right.
I wonder where I read that though.
How far out is this cargo container? Could we pull the container out before we loot it?
Entirely possible. It seems to be wedged between 2 panels, almost as if the storyteller put it there because he thought that you might do that.
But I do possibly also have a portable arc welder, so I could cut it out.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. I see what I.
So if
yeah.
you want, Tom, if you want to take this on single-handed, you could just go in, just you, use the arc welder to cut it out and pull it out to the other guys. But it does mean that you'll be doing it on your own.
Well, I'm thinking I've not really got the energy in order to do the looting, but I can definitely do the cutting it out and pulling it out bit.
It's a good way to work through it all, and it means that it's just one person taking the potential downsides.
Okay. When you do that, we'll cover you while you do it, and then we'll loot when
do
you
that.
get it here. Yeah.
And
So
I
I-
can do the looting.
If you can tell me what I need to do, I go in and I'll kind of latch the mech onto it, set it to walk backwards. So if I kind of start to go a bit dizzy and lose the plot, it's just going to continue to trek backwards, dragging it as it cuts it out.
Okay. Sure. And a good way to get around my attrition encounter. So, yeah. Yeah. That's why I designed it. So, yeah, you are going to go in on your own. So, as you get into the field, you find yourself piloting your mech whilst disorientated. Much like pilots are given hyperbaric training. Yeah. You're doing the whole kind of thing. Anybody who's seen Top Gun would have seen hyperbaric training. You start to get very floopy very quickly. So, a little lightheaded, you start to plod towards it. Thankfully, it's quite a simple area. There's not much in the way of obstacles or fallen debris or anything like that, just these large metal panels and then gullies between where you can walk along. So getting there, I would like you to give me a d20 just to see your mental state at the moment.
You rolled a 209 and 11.
11.
11. So 11, I think, is just a choice. I'm going to just give that as a minor setback. That's fine by me. No, that's a full success. So you've hit the lowest part of full success.
Yes.
Yeah, everything is blurred and all the rest of it, but what you're doing is just staying on target. You're staying calm. You pretty much accept that you're going to be, tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah. You accept that you're tripping and you just lean into it. Yeah. You get to the cargo pod, and sure enough, it's these 2 panels that are like this, and it's kind of fallen in a wedge between the 2. Something as large as maybe Commodore's loading arm might be able to grapple it out. But you're not sure whether or not they would damage the insides. You're going to try something a little more delicate, but you are doing it absolutely stoned off your tits on this weird effect, this kind of gravimetric effect on your brain. So give me a roll 20, and let's see how you do. A 12. Once again, a success. Cool, calm, collected. The amount of time it takes you to come in here, you do get 1 stress, but you don't need to roll a stress roll. That's only when you push yourself, not just when you gain it. So you've just gained a stress. for being in here. Because you didn't need to push yourself or take any extra time, the rest of these guys think it's easy. They think, oh, it's clearly not that bad in there. As you just go in and you're very carefully drawing a bead with this arc cutter. And sure enough, it plops out, boom, boom, and you start to drag it back. Compared to all the fine work you've just done kind of mech surgery whilst high. Dragging it back is very, very simple. So yeah, if you guys spend 4 energy points amongst you as a group, you will get all the pieces that you can just flat pack IKEA together into a deep survey scanner.
Cool.
So decide amongst yourselves how you are.
I only have 4 energy left, so I would like to try. If everyone has got more than that, I'd like to try and keep up 4 or above.
I have 8 left.
Well, we've hit 11, so I doubt you're going to need it. So
Yeah, and I've got 5, so I can throw one in, no problem.
I'll throw one in.
fantastic.
Yeah, I will throw everything else in.
Yeah, so you get the deep survey scanner. I don't know about you, but I like the flow of this.
Yeah.
And I like the fact you can throw lots of challenges, even in a single 3-hour session. And we stopped. We deliberated different bits, but there was a possibility of going faster or going slower and putting more RP in. I think there's a lot of directions that it can go in. I liked how when I wrote this, it was a different way of thinking. And I must admit, I've got a little bit one-tracked. Let me just switch to the RP thing so you can see this clear. Normally, I'm accustomed to the D&D thing of, okay, 1 combat, some RP, kind of thing. Or the Lancer thing, which is basically, half an hour of RP and then the rest of the time being combat. I like the fact there was lots of different things that you can do. So I'll just give you the quick spoilers before we leave. So Route 1, the heavy mech would have suffered as the sand dunes would have started digging them in, and it would have been the rest of your guys' job to dig Hermit out of the sand dunes. The open flats was just a temptation. So you would have had the temptation to go faster and make up time. If you did, there are bits of scrap that were just underneath the dunes that you could have tripped over and done yourself damage on. So it was just tempting to get you guys to sprint. Route 2 was quite possibly the most time-consuming one, ironically, because it was the fastest route for the characters. You would have gone up against the Meld nanoids, which Leyline put the picture up. If you haven't seen it, they're kind of cute in a your mech is completely fucked kind of way. Then at first it was the Meld nanoids, and then I was going to have the nanoids, the Meld, take over a mech. So you would have had to have fought a mech that had a gooey nanite core that would have fought you once you defeated the mech. So that really was the worst choice. So well done for not choosing that one. And then so you did X2, which was the crash site and train station. You could have got some easy but low-level loot there. X1 was the logistics yards. So somebody had set up an old wrecking ball as a trap that would have hit a mech that we would have chosen using a D4 in the chat. If it hit the heavy mech, it would have just glanced off, whereas it would have actually attacked the other two. So I kind of made, in each of the sections, one size of mech just goes meh, whatever, and the others suffer. So that would have been that, and you would have got the grab sled. There were a load of wastelanders there that you could have talked to as well, and they would have told you about some of the other areas and what to avoid, or in your case, go headlong in. Factory complex was supposed to be cat and mouse, but you just nuked it from orbit, so fuck you guys. The flux capacitor was just supposed to be this tentative thing, which I would have spent more time on, of you going in there, and if all of you had gone in, you all would have been rolling, which would have been a higher chance of you all getting stress. And then if you'd completely lost it with the stress, I could have got it so one of you guys could have gone berserk, which would have been good fun. The X5 on the map was the spill. So this actually had a ruptured chemical pipe that had a thin yellow miasma that would have started corroding your mechs. just for
Ooh.
ironically for some armor plating. So you would have gone into somewhere that would have hurt your mechs just to get some armor plating that would protect your mech in future. So that was the shit option.
Good
So
call.
you didn't go in there. And then finally, the residential district, which I could have made longer. I had a band of vandals that would have tried to do cold shots on you on your various systems if you went prone. So each turn they would have set off traps to get you to fall over. Again, the person who's immune to falling over is the heavy mech. And they would have done that. However, on the heavy mech, they would have tried to steal cargo from you. And, trying to hit a single human with a railgun was going to be interesting. So the only other option you had was basically mass murder by setting off your mines and seeing whether or not you were willing to take out a large amount of humans.
The answer to that is yes.
The answer is always yes, of course.
Or message me. Just be like, just fire into the water. Yeah, cool.
So if this was part of a campaign, you would have gone a long way towards starting your own light mech to add to the mechs on your crawler. You also took the option of not murdering a Dorner, which means that you would have picked up a character for the campaign that she would have given you some plot arc to drop her off, maybe do a deal with the corpos. So even though I wrote this as a one-shot, I wrote it in mind of if I was doing this again, it's a hot playtest. I wrote it with what would be next. So you could have come back into this town and investigated what the flux was and why it was there. You could have gone down the corpo line with Adorna and tried to get her back, and would the corpse stab you in the back? Would they thank you? Would they hire you? How would that have gone? So this one session could have splintered off into a lot of different stories depending on whether you spoke to the Wastelanders, whether you finally managed to intimidate the Vandals and find out why they were the Vandals, and so on. Maybe the Ranchers would have been happy if you got rid of the Meld nanites. Tom came up with that fantastic idea of standing on the flux side and just bombing the nanites so that you clear this section of the mag rail, which in itself could have been a second session with a completely different mission where you come in and maybe do some more salvage for the stuff you left behind before. So there's ways of doing this up until the point where you go, you know what, we've milked this town for everything it has. It's completely devoid of anything useful now. Time for us to go on to a different plot. So I can see immediately how Leyline has put this together, because my first question when I started writing it is, how do you turn this mission-based thing into a campaign? And again, I've done that with other systems, but I can definitely see it now. Going through this, I could see that if we were to do session 2 of this tomorrow, what I would write in and what kind of RP and what kind of storyline would evolve as a result of this. So, a big thank you to Dave, Hermit, Tom, Unka, Helen up in the gods. Thank you very much for throwing out the links, and some of the cheese ball lines were good cheese, so thank you very much for that. And a big thank you to everybody who's visited us today. We are going to put some love out for them on Twitter, but also for those of you who had not seen, we have the What Am I Rolling podcast, headed by the lovely Fiona. So I will just put the @ in there, although you can see them in the chat. You can also follow Leyline Press themselves, so they do come onto Twitch and show you some of the games that they're doing as well. And it's not just Salvage Union, I have to say. Out of their catalogue, this is absolutely my favourite, and I'm really glad they're pushing with the Kickstarter for this and to go big on this. Also, there is the Drunken Storyteller. So, all one word, the Drunken Storyteller that came in before. Again, I'll be throwing all of this into the Discord so that the Chaotix can go and visit them. We'll put you on our raid list so that we can raid you as well. And also, there's Richard of the D20 Future Show, who raided us as well. And finally, Balbrith the Penguin, who, if you're a Chaotic, you should know who he is already. And if not, well, maybe I'll dig out some of his Twitch things content to embarrass him. So a big thank you to you all for this, and I just realised we actually have the shout out command, so we can do a few of these at some point as well. So we will shout them out at a different time, and yep, there we go. Last seen playing Dream Daddy. That's it. I take it back. I'm sorry. No. As I say, these are lovely people who we've managed to meet through Dragon Meet UK, which is the best and I think only RPG dedicated convention in the UK. And so, if you are in the UK and you're thinking of starting RPGs, want to talk to people about RPGs, it's late November or early December. This year it was early December, and it's held in London. And we hope to see you there next year. And we'll be there with all the others and hopefully more of the podcasters in future to be able to talk to you, come up to us, talk to us about games, talk to us about systems, ask us for recommendations on systems. I'm going to drag Dave there next time so you can ask him about Mage, and then I won't see him for the rest of the weekend. I'm sure Leyline Press will be back for Dragon Meet as well. So that was fantastic. But also Podcast Zone UK, who's curated by the lovely Mira, who has been on the show before. If you want to check those out, you'll be bombarded with more podcasts than you have time. If you commute, if you drive a long time, if you drive for a living or anything like that, get these podcasts onto your playlist because you will not be disappointed. Anyway, we are going to go into a very quick raid, but a big thank you to everybody who turned up here today. We are going to continue playing this game, guaranteed. We've got the Atipos. Is it Atipos? I think it's Atipos adventure that's in here. But I'm actually quite happy to maybe throw some follow-on content for the one that I did here. And what I'll do is I'll send the notes of this off to Leyline Press. And if they want to rewrite it, polish it up, put it as a stretch goal, whatever, we have got until, I think, the 5th of January, I think I'm right in saying, until it's maybe the 6th for this Kickstarter to finish. So I will finish up by saying, please check out that link if you can get just the PDF, or you can go, as one member of our community has already done with the all-in package and is now tempting me to do the same, then do so. It's certainly going to be rewarding. If the final book is anything like the Beta Quick Start, you're going to have a ton of fun. So
it's not like me to go all in on Kickstarters.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, you are the very measure of reservedness. So,
Yep.
Thank you, Helen. So yes, the Dragon Meet 2022 is on the 3rd of December, and barring a full lockdown, we will be there. Okay, and there'll be plenty more as well. So put that in your calendars if you're in the UK. Dragon Meet is the place to go. I will even go a little aggressive on this and say, forget Comic-Con. Go to Dragon Meet. Go to UK Games Expo. Those are the two cons that need you to be there, because the more they grow, the more we're able to get connected to lovely people like Leyline Press and continue these new products coming out onto the shelves. So I'm going to stop waffling now because I am tired. I had my 3rd COVID shot today. So I'm starting to get a little bit floopy myself. Tonight's going to be very interesting sleep. And we're going to go on to our see you later screen. But please stick around for the raid as we show love to somebody else. Until then, good night.
I
Night.
I know.
new DM intro screen, new RP screen.
Did you actually use all of those?
I did use them all. No, I didn't use. I used the old combat screen. Is what she's telling me off for. All the others were new.